Chapter 1199. Underscore. And BSB to read this book. What are you talking about? I'm not that kind of person, Night Sorrow said speechlessly. Following this, Mandela told Night Sorrow that his current level was not high enough, and that he needed to be a mid-level sovereign king to be able to cultivate the death annihilation /. Moreover, he needed to comprehend it by analogy because Night Sorrow did not have the death attribute. I know. I haven't mastered the Qing Emperor's reincarnation / that master taught me, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Good that you know. Send me a message if you need anything, Datira said and hung up the call. Night Sorrow came out of the secret training room and took out 2 jars of wine. He then asked the servants to prepare some dishes. Uncle Summer, I'm sorry that you got hurt because of me. I can only offer you these 2 jars of wine, Night Sorrow said. Your Highness, please don't say that. It's my fault. I didn't expect a powerful figure to take action. I'm really not his match, Summer City said as he stood up. Uncle Summer, please don't say that. Night Sorrow understands some things. Night Sorrow poured wine for Summer City. When Night Sorrow and Summer City were drinking, Green Phoenix and Green Phoenix came. They came to visit when they heard that Night Sorrow had returned. Night Sorrow also invited them to sit down and drink. The war this time is a crisis. The crisis was passed with the help of Junior Brother Yi. However, Junior Brother Ye's own crisis is also a problem. I'm not being hypocritical. I truly hope that Junior Brother Yi can sit in the position of commander of the army. Qing Yuan said. It's good that you don't reject me. I'll do my own thing. I won't fight for things that I shouldn't. Advertisement. Night Sorrow expressed his opinion. Yeah, there's nothing to fight for. You're the #1 commander of Dynasty. Even if there's a big war, we'll be prepared to fight. You'll be behind us, Green Phoenix said. Haha. When it's time for the 9 Heavens army to fight, we will not cower. Night Sorrow will not cower either. Night Sorrow nodded. Actually, I'm your senior brother. I just took some detours. Fortunately, I'm back on track. I'm in the Qing Emperor's dynasty. If you need my help, I won't be stingy, Qing Lin said. This is what His Majesty wants to see the most. Your Highnesses, the Crown Prince and the Princess, the most important thing for His Majesty to accept a disciple is their character. Whether it is Her Highness Sandalwood or His Highness Night Sorrow, there is no problem with this. The onlooker sees more clearly. Your Highnesses are overthinking. Summer City said. Qing Lin and Qing Yuan cupped their hands towards Summer City. After experiencing some things, they also understood some things. Night Sorrow. Thank you for saving Qing Yuan. Qing Lin poured a glass of wine for Night Sorrow. While Night Sorrow and the others were drinking, the Qing Emperor and Xiandaozi were chatting. Your Majesty, why don't you ask His Highness Night Sorrow about the agreement he made with the Dark Dominator? Xiandaozi was a bit suspicious. He was worried that there might be something that would harm the Qing Emperor's dynasty. Chapter 4H4. Although Night Sorrow doesn't deliberately cultivate the way of the noble, he cultivates virtue in his daily life. If he says he didn't do anything against virtue, then he didn't. He could make up a reason, but he didn't. Why? Because a man can support both heaven and earth. He disdains lying, the Qing Emperor said. That's true. If he has a virtuous body, then there's no problem with virtue. I'm just curious, Xiandaozi said. There are some things that you don't understand, but the Dark Dominator does. She made the right choice. Besides, she won't gain anything by killing Night Sorrow's doppelganger. She doesn't care about offending Zhang Taiyang, but it doesn't make sense for her to become my enemy for no reason, the Qing Emperor said. This woman is ruthless. She killed Zhang Taiyang's doppelganger with one strike. She's decisive and powerful, Xiandaozi said. Of course. She's one of the most powerful Sky Masters. Besides, Zhang Taiyang crossed the line. No matter what conflicts we have with the Dark Abyss and the Red Emperor's kingdom, it's the Eastern District of the world of Samsara. If he wants to cause trouble in the Eastern District, neither the Red Emperor nor the Dark Dominator will tolerate it, the Qing Emperor said. That's right. This is one of the reasons why the Eastern District takes up the most cultivation time in the Samsara Palace. Xiandaozi nodded. He understood that this was the big picture. The Eastern District was fighting fiercely, But if other people came, the three parties wouldn't tolerate it. Then the Qing Emperor gave an order. If the Dark Abyss property in the Qing Emperor's kingdom was not excessive, they would turn a blind eye and not expel it. Xian Daozi didn't understand, but he still carried out the order. The Qing Emperor knew that the Dark Dominator, Datura, must have found out about Night Sorrow's secret, so he chose to support Night Sorrow. He thought that was why Night Sorrow didn't want to talk about it. Master, I plan to go out for a walk and settle down. Then I'll go to the Samsara Palace to cultivate. If I can take another step forward, I'll be able to help you in the future. There are many battles now, and I can't get involved, Sandalwood said. Go. Right now the heavenly Tao is changing. Many people will have opportunities. Your junior brother's appearance may have given you an opportunity. Of course, it may also be bad luck. It's all up to you. The Qing Emperor nodded. I'll work hard. I was disheartened before, but now I have a reason to fight. Junior brother is still weak. I want to protect him, Sandalwood said. Also, you've been in the Demon Ceiling Tower for 5 million years. People often come to see you, so you should do something. We have a long lifespan, but 5 million years is enough to prove something. If you like her, then marry her, the Qing Emperor said. Master, you know, I'm going to do that. Sandalwood's determined face looked a little unnatural. The Qing Emperor waved his hand and dismissed Sandalwood. The Qing Emperor fell into deep thought. He didn't tell anyone about the pressure in his heart, not even Xian Daozi or Summer City. The main reason was that the matter was too big. When he found out that Night Sorrow had supreme attributes, the Qing Emperor decided to take the matter on his shoulders and suppress him. Now he knew that the Dark Dominator was also willing to stand in this line. However, some things happened too suddenly. Because of Zhang Taiyang's appearance and interference, the situation became difficult to control. The Qing Emperor felt that he needed to see Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow had made contributions, so there was no problem with his cultivation in the Samsara Palace. Night Sorrow's original body couldn't come out. When the Qing Emperor appeared, Night Sorrow and the others were still drinking. When they saw the Qing Emperor appear, they all stood up and bowed to greet him. Very good. If you can sit together and drink, it means that many things have passed. A person must be open-minded. Nothing is serious except death. All right, you guys go back. Night Sorrow, I have something to say to you. The Qing Emperor looked at his children and walked into the hall. Night Sorrow nodded and followed. He didn't know what the Qing Emperor wanted to say. Chapter 1200. For a book, please go to $. After entering the main hall, the Qing Emperor waved his hand and set up a bounded domain. Sit down. There are some things that you didn't tell me, and that's the right thing to do. The appearance of a supreme attribute will cause a bloodbath, and the giants won't allow it, because once you succeed, you will suppress them. No one wants to see such a situation. I support you because a master and disciple are like father and son. Mandela must have her reasons for supporting you. I won't ask about these things, but your own safety is very important, said Emperor Qing. Sorry, I didn't mean to hide it from you. I know it's a big deal, so I plan to wait until the void attribute enters the king's realm. Night Sorrow was a little embarrassed. Don't leave the Samsara Palace when you enter the king's realm. You have millions of merits now. You can exchange them for cultivation time later. You can't cultivate in the Samsara Palace. You can use your doppelganger to fight in the outside world. With the annihilation bead, it doesn't matter if your doppelganger is destroyed. The Qing Emperor said. I understand. Night Sorrow nodded. Night Sorrow, the world of Samsara is very complicated. Some forces are even more powerful. I can't touch them. For example, the Celestial Sect in the southern region of the world of Samsara. They don't have any Sky Masters, but they are still a top force. No Sky Master dares to make trouble for them, because no one can afford to. Therefore, even a Heaven Master would have his concerns. What I want is for you to rise up safely and achieve success in your cultivation. The Azure Emperor said earnestly. Read the full text. I've troubled you, Master. Night Sorrow bowed again. You don't have to be so polite with me. If the world of Samsara is really chaotic, you can go to other worlds. I'm not familiar with the Shenwu Great World, But I have good friends in the Xianhuang world. But it's still early, the Qing Emperor said. After talking with Knight Sorrow for a while, the Qing Emperor left. He came to emphasize the importance of this matter to Knight Sorrow, because Knight Sorrow was too young. Knight Sorrow also fell into deep thought. He knew the matter was serious. It was Zhang Taiyang's irresponsible words that dragged him into the deep pit. The artifact of the Heavenly Way was very powerful. It could increase the combat power of the Sky Masters by a lot. Whoever got it could become a top figure among the Sky Masters. Knight Sorrow didn't have a chance to defend himself. But who would have thought that the Qing Emperor would have to think twice before causing trouble? If some small characters entered the Qing Emperor's city, the Qing Emperor wouldn't interfere. But if a monarch came to the Qing Emperor's city, there would be an explanation. Without a suitable reason, the Qing Emperor wouldn't be polite. Cultivating the way of the gentleman was good, but if someone had ulterior motives, there would only be one word for it: death. Yi Shang stayed in the 9-layer building and studied array formations every day. Sometimes he would refine pills and forge artifacts. He Qiu and Jun Xuanji were still taking orders. Yi Shang needed to fuse the array formations he had learned with artifact forging. In addition, he also needed to cultivate his proficiency in alchemy. The 9-secret slaughtering god formation was very profound. It wasn't something that could be mastered in a day or two. It also required a very deep foundation. Knight Sorrow wasn't in a hurry. He just studied it every day. What surprised the people of Summer City was that Knight Sorrow would go back to his room to rest every day. This shouldn't be normal. In fact, Knight Sorrow was communicating with Datura. On RH Datura had some changes. She liked to use the concentric crystal to chat with Knight Sorrow. Even if she didn't have anything to do, she would talk for a while. Therefore, Knight Sorrow would go back to his room to rest every day. In fact, he was talking to Datura. Datura was as gentle as water with Knight Sorrow. However, she was extremely ruthless to others. She found the Moon Demon Realm Lord and killed her. However, she couldn't find the Tsungyun Monarch. His original body was killed, and only his clone was left. Therefore, she was extremely cautious and didn't appear. Aluo, you don't have to worry too much. We can't find that fellow if he hides. Moreover, his original body was killed. The battle strength of his clone is also ordinary. If he dares to go to the Heaven Profound World, then the Black Heaven Monarch will be able to kill him. If you don't want to return to the Dark Abyss, then go to the small house beside the 7-Night Lake to rest. Knight Sorrow looked at Datura through the concentric crystal, and said. At this moment, Datura was still searching for the Tsungyun Monarch in the Sky Dome realm. You call me Aluo. That's right, they are looking for trouble with you because of the soul cultivating liquid. I want it too. I haven't used the soul cultivating liquid before. It can still increase my strength. Datura said. All right, then go to the small house beside the lake in the 7-Night City. When you arrive, send me a message and I will send it to you. However, you are already a Sky Master. Can you still increase your strength? Knight Sorrow asked. I haven't used the soul cultivating liquid before. Therefore, there is still room for improvement. After my strength increases, some bastards won't be my match. That includes that bastard Red Emperor. If Zhang Taiyang continues to jump around happily, I will go and kill his original body. Datura said with a smile. All right, inform me when you arrive at the 7-Night City. Knight Sorrow nodded. Knight Sorrow could feel that Datura's attitude towards him had undergone a fundamental change. It was even a little clingy. However, Datura was genuinely good to him, and was also thinking for him. Therefore, if he could help, Knight Sorrow would definitely not refuse. With nothing to do, Knight Sorrow rested for a while before continuing to study the magic array. When he felt the concentric crystal in his sleeve vibrate, Knight Sorrow stood up and said, Uncle Summer, I will return to the city in the sky and get some wine. You don't need me to follow you? Summer City asked. No need. I will just use the teleportation array. No one will be able to intercept or discover me. I will be back soon, Knight Sorrow said. All right then. Your Highness will return once you are done with your matters. It is not safe outside. Summer City nodded. Night Sorrow took the teleportation array and teleported to the Seven-Night City. Then he went to the small lakeside building. In the small lakeside building, Datura, who was wearing a black dress embroidered with Datura, stood facing the wind. Why didn't you take the concentric crystal? Datura glared at Night Sorrow. Why are you throwing a tantrum over this? I have other people around me. I knew you were here, so I came directly. Night Sorrow said with a smile. You look very spirited in your black battle robe. It suits me very well. Datura looked at Night Sorrow and said. Her black dress was embroidered with a golden mandala, while Night Sorrow's black robe was embroidered with golden edges. This is the battle robe of His Highness of the Qing Emperor's dynasty. In the past I did not wear it. However, Uncle Xia said that if I don't wear it, others will not recognize me and will not respect me. After saying that, Night Sorrow handed the 3 drops of soul cultivation liquid to Datura. At least you have a conscience. You took it out without me asking. I will refine it myself. In the future, when my doppelganger has matters to handle, take me to the space-time pagoda and use time acceleration to refine it. That way it won't waste my time, Datura said. All right, I will send you there. After saying that, Night Sorrow led Datura to the teleportation array. They teleported to Sky City and to the lakeside. I will talk to Little Kong. In the future, you can enter and leave as you wish, Night Sorrow said. At this moment, however, Datura's eyes were filled with surprise. Night Sorrow, the rumors are true. This is the Divine Clear Sky Pagoda. Chapter 1201. The website updates fast, the page is clean, and there are few advertisements. I like this kind of website the most. I must give a good review. Are you kidding me? It used to be called the Sky Bearing Pagoda. After I got it, I changed its name to the Space-Time Pagoda. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Night Sorrow, although it is now damaged, I am sure that it is the Haotian Godly Pagoda. Others might not be able to recognize it, but I can. When the Haotian Godly Pagoda caused a dispute, I also participated. I will not forget its aura. This is the Haotian Godly Pagoda. However, I don't understand why it is damaged. Datura said seriously. At this time, Night Sorrow was also stunned. He did not expect that a casual rumor from Zhang Taiyang would become true. This is a disaster. You must keep it a secret. Otherwise, the world will really be in chaos. Datura said. Night Sorrow nodded. He also remembered something. He had upgraded the Dragon Cauldron to a king artifact, but the Space-Time Pagoda did not. This was because he did not understand the array within the Space-Time Pagoda. Then Night Sorrow and Xiao Kong talked for a while. The Space-Time Pagoda was open to Datura. Okay, take this first. Go to Seven-Night City and wait for me. My clone will be there soon. Datura handed the concentric crystal to Night Sorrow. Then he flashed into the Space-Time Pagoda. Night Sorrow did not stay in the Space-Time Pagoda for long. He greeted his parents, took some tea and wine, and talked to his wife. He told her to rest well, and told her not to leave the 9 regions world before returning to Seven-Night City. Almost all the books you want to read are here. It is much more stable than the average website. The updates are faster, and there are no advertisements. After waiting for a while in the lakeside building, Datura appeared. The clone was similar to the original body. Night Sorrow handed the concentric crystal to Datura. The original body is similar to the avatar. You can't tell them apart. Of course. I'm different from other cultivators. I'm a mandala. My main body is the main stem while my clones are the offshoots. Our strength is about the same. I estimated that refining 1 drop will take 20 years. Refining all of it will take around 50 to 60 years, Datura said. Didn't you say that refining a drop of soul cultivation liquid takes 100 years? How did you do it in 20 years? Night Sorrow asked in surprise. That is for ordinary sovereigns. I have the death attribute and I have a perfect will. I can kill sovereigns at will. Naturally, we are on a different level, Datura said with a smile. All right, if there's nothing else, I'll head back, Night Sorrow said. Can't you stay for a while? Datira asked Night Sorrow. Looking at Datira's suffocating face, Night Sorrow shook his head. Aluo, I'm under a lot of pressure right now. Okay then go. Datira nodded with a smile. In fact, Datira knew why Night Sorrow was under so much pressure. She knew that Night Sorrow was overcautious and did not know how to get along with her. When a beauty was placed in front of him, he did not know how to get along with her. He was at a loss. Datira liked this feeling. Night Sorrow did not reject her and restrained her like a child. Datira also knew that after meeting Night Sorrow, some of the wheel of fate had started to spin. For example, countless years had passed, and her strength had not improved at all. However, after meeting Night Sorrow for a short time, she had obtained the soul cultivation liquid, and improved her strength again. Night Sorrow returned to the 9-layer pagoda, and patted his chest. Facing Datira, he was under a lot of pressure. Sitting in the main hall of the 9-layer pagoda, Night Sorrow was thinking about another problem. That was the Clear Sky God Pagoda. Normally, a heavenly Tao divine artifact should not appear in a small world like the 9 regions world. However, when Yishang thought about it, he felt that the Clear Sky Divine Pagoda might have fallen into the profound heaven world when they were madly fighting for it back then. He wondered which unlucky bastard of the South Sky Empire had obtained it, and was killed when he went on a killing spree. The Clear Sky Divine Pagoda then fell into the 9 domains world, and became the #1 treasure of the Qingtian region. After many twists and turns, it fell into his hands. Night Sorrow did not know how to restore the Clear Sky God Pagoda, which was also the Space-Time Treasure Pagoda. He was powerless now because he could not solve the Time Array and the Space Array. The 9 Underworld Slaughtering God Array was an ancient array that involved Time Array and Space Array. It even had the element of destruction. However, he had just come into contact with it. He did not know when he would be able to figure it out. A few days later, Datira told Night Sorrow that a group of blood-robed guards had infiltrated the Qing Emperor's dynasty. They were now staying in a restaurant not far from the 9-layer pagoda, and could be mobilized at any time. In addition, the monarch-ranked blood-robed guards were under strict surveillance in the Qing Emperor's dynasty, and would only arrive later. The blood-robed guards were on the same level as the Qing Emperor's guard. It would be difficult for them to infiltrate the Qing Emperor's dynasty. In addition, Datira also told Night Sorrow that the Qing Emperor's dynasty had loosened the restrictions on the exchange of resources from the Dark Abyss. Some of the businesses in the Dark Abyss were not suppressed. Night Sorrow smiled as he lay on the bed and held the concentric crystal. It seems that the Qing Emperor's dynasty has changed their strategy. Master might have his reasons for doing so. That should be the case. There is another batch of resources in that restaurant. You can go and get it later. If others follow closely, send Hong Yi or Lanning. I have already instructed the blood-robed guards to recognize Hong Yi and Lanning. They can go on your behalf, Datira said. Night Sorrow nodded. He knew that Datira had already considered some things. On this day, while Night Sorrow was deducing the array, the Qing Emperor's guard came to inform Night Sorrow that the Qing Emperor wanted him to go to the Azure Sky Pavilion. Night Sorrow did not know what was going on. He tidied up his robes and went to the Azure Sky Pavilion. Take a look at this soft armor. Do you like it? You refined a half-body armor, so its defense is not good enough. This is a monarch-grade soft armor that I refined for you. The Qing Emperor took out a set of soft armor and placed it in front of Night Sorrow. Thank you for your hard work, Master, Night Sorrow said as he bowed. At the time, I said that as long as you could take down the Sky Tiger Pass, I would refine a monarch-grade armor for you. I never break my promises to others, let alone to my disciples, the Qing Emperor said with a smile. Thank you, Master. Where is my senior brother? Why don't I see him? Night Sorrow was surprised that he did not see Sandalwood. Your senior brother has been in the Devil Ceiling Tower for 5 million years. He has been suppressed for 5 million years. He accompanied me during this period of time to fulfill his filial piety. He has his own path to explore, and there are other matters that he needs to resolve. After the calamity is over, a new sky awaits him. As for the other matters, I don't want to explain too much. In the future, The Qing Emperor's dynasty will not seal off the dark abyss. However, there are some things that cannot be overdone. If you can go, tell her what I think, the Qing Emperor said. Knight Sorrow bowed. He understood why. Some words would be meaningless if spoken directly. Knight Sorrow knew it, the Qing Emperor knew it, and Datura knew it. That was enough. In addition, I also received some news that the Blackfiend Valley has made a move. Their target is you. Some people have already infiltrated our Qing Emperor's dynasty. Although I have put up a defense, it is not a foolproof plan. So, you have to be careful. They all want the Qing Emperor's pagoda. They are crazy, the Qing Emperor muttered. Chapter 1202. Master. Knight Sorrow said, looking around. Tell me. Xiandaozi is my old brother. You have to call him Uncle Xiandaozi, Qing Emperor said. Zhan Taiyang was right about the Haotian godly pagoda. It is in my hands, but it is damaged, Knight Sorrow said. Are you saying that the space-time pagoda you placed in the 9-layer pagoda with the ability to accelerate time was the Haotian godly pagoda? Qing Emperor stood up in shock. Yes, but it is damaged. It is missing a part, Knight Sorrow said. Zhan Taiyang is such a despicable person. He guessed right. It is damaged. Can it be repaired? Qing Emperor asked. I don't know. When I entered the king's realm, I upgraded all my weapons and armor, but the space-time pagoda could not. The implement spirit told me that the space-time pagoda was damaged, Knight Sorrow said. Your Majesty, my divination skills are not very good now because of what happened to your highness. I still need a few years to recover, Xiandaozi said, bowing to Qing Emperor. Knight Sorrow, you can't rush this. When your uncle Xiandaozi recovers, I will help you with the divination, and see where the Haotian godly pagoda is damaged. You have to find it, Qing Emperor said. He was extremely shocked. This was the blessing of the heavens. He actually had a heavenly divine artifact. It was something that others could not see even if they wanted to. Thank you, Master, but I am not in a hurry. I am still weak now. I should improve my strength first, Knight Sorrow said. Good. That is a good attitude. Qing Emperor nodded. Then Knight Sorrow took the soft armor and left. He could not use the full power of the monarch-grade soft armor, but it was definitely better than the king-grade armor. Seeing Knight Sorrow leave, Qing Emperor poured a cup of tea. This disciple is good at cultivation and character. I don't need to worry about him, but he is so troublesome. Is your Majesty not happy? Sandalwood and the other 2 imperial highnesses might have accumulated more resources than he did in other aspects. But when it came to destiny, they were far inferior. Xiandaozi said. Yes, Datura also saw this. Let's not talk about this anymore. As for the Empire of Darkness, it's best to relax as much as possible. Because of Knight Sorrow's existence, Datura won't mess around. She won't make Knight Sorrow unhappy, said Qing Emperor. The only original version. P equals all of them are pirates version. Xiandaozi nodded. He knew that Qing Emperor and Datura had already reached a consensus on some matters. And the starting point was Knight Sorrow. After Knight Sorrow returned to the 9 grand floors, he entered the secret cultivation room and recognized the flexible armor as its master. Qing Emperor's craftsmanship was not something Knight Sorrow could compare to. After refining, the flexible armor became a bracelet. It was called the 9 heavy armor. While Knight Sorrow was studying the armor, Nu Lin, 7 Ju, Qi Wang and Storm arrived. Their expressions did not look good. What's wrong? Why haven't I received any battle reports? Knight Sorrow stood up and asked. Your Majesty, please give justice to the former Sky Tiger army. 7 Ju got down on one knee. Qi Wang and Storm also got down on one knee. Get up. Get up and talk. What happened? Nu Lin, tell me. What happened? Knight Sorrow asked after helping them up. It's Chidu. After the soldiers of Sky Tiger Pass returned, because of their oath, they did not want to be soldiers anymore. However, the Red Emperor's Chidu, who is in charge of law, felt that this was betrayal and killed them all. Nu Lin was very angry. Shameless. Knight Sorrow waved his hand and broke the tea set on the table in front of him. He's an animal. He has never led an army before. He doesn't know how to be a soldier. What he did this time is infuriating, Seven Ju said. In the end, it's my fault. I will kill Chidu. Knight Sorrow was infuriated. The soldiers of the Sky Tiger Legion were all unyielding men. Yet they had been killed by Chi-Du just like that. We are here to ask for battle. This time, Chi-Du has asked for battle and formed an army. Now he and Chi-Hua's army are coming from two directions, forming a pincer attack on Heaven Tiger Pass. Seven Absolutes said. Let the brothers of the Black Tiger army grieve. They don't have to worry about this. Let them rest in the 9 heavenly floors. I will lead the army. Knight Sorrow made a decision. Your Highness, you worry too much. When Chidu attacked our brothers, the Black Tiger army had nothing to do with the Red Emperor's kingdom. We only want to avenge our brothers. We will not avoid battle, Seven Ju said. That's good. Go back and organize the battle report. I will be there soon, Knight Sorrow said. Nu Lin left with Seven Ju and the others. Knight Sorrow's emotions had not calmed down. He was the one who broke Sky Tiger Pass. That was why Chida's army was massacred. It had a lot to do with him. Your Highness, you have things to do now. You have to be extra careful when you go out. It is possible that there are a few experts hiding in the enemy's army, Summer City said. I know, but this time, I have to give the soldiers an explanation, Knight Sorrow said. Then Knight Sorrow brought Summer City, Red Yi, Laning, and Feishio to Sky Tiger Pass. They led the Qing Emperor's guardian team. When Knight Sorrow arrived, the 7 armies of the 9 Heaven Army gathered in place. Brothers, we are soldiers who protect our country. The Sky Tiger Army used to be soldiers too. However, the Red Emperor's kingdom did things that angered both man and God. Soldiers can die on the battlefield and be slaughtered innocently. I cannot accept that. So I have to fight. I want the Red Emperor's kingdom to pay the price for disrespecting our soldiers, Knight Sorrow said to the group of soldiers. The reply to Knight Sorrow was the sound of armor being knocked. Nu Lin, send out scouts. Investigate for me, Knight Sorrow said to Nu Lin. Knight Sorrow then went to the ceiling sky matrix. He opened a small gap in the matrix that allowed only one person to pass through. Then he returned to the headquarters and continued to write the battle report. After he finished writing the battle report and stamped it with his seal, Knight Sorrow asked Nu Lin to go to the military headquarters to review it. Legions had to be approved by the military headquarters to go to war. However, under normal circumstances, the battle report from the commander of a legion would not be rejected. After the military headquarters discussed it, they would report it to the Qing Emperor. The Qing Emperor only took a quick look at it, because legions would not go to war without reason. After the battle report was written, Knight Sorrow waited for the military headquarters reply and the scouts' reply. Then Knight Sorrow checked the ceiling sky matrix and the ceiling sky matrix. When he was in the matrix, Knight Sorrow and Datura chatted for a while. Datura did not object to Knight Sorrow declaring war on the Red Emperor's kingdom. She reminded Knight Sorrow not to be tricked by the hidden people in the Legion. This was not the intention of the Red Emperor's kingdom. Now that the eastern region of the world of Samsara was turbulent, it was possible for outsiders to sneak into the Legion. After returning to the commander's mansion, Yishang pondered. Right now he had to focus all his efforts on cultivating the will of nothingness. After that, he could tell the reincarnation palace that he needed to combine wills. At that time, he would be able to comprehend the 3 types of wills together. Chapter 1203. Now, Knight Sorrow needed to learn the basics of the will of nothingness. Then his Emperor Reincarnation / could be upgraded to the King level. His combat power would be greatly increased. When the Qing Emperor used the Emperor Reincarnation / it used high-level attributes as its core, and combined with other normal attributes. However, when it was used by Knight Sorrow, it used the Supreme Attribute as its core. The two were not on the same level. Knight Sorrow felt that if his Earth Reincarnation / was also trained to the King level, he could kill a mid-level king. He would not be in such a difficult situation like when he fought Wu Jia. While Knight Sorrow was thinking, Nu Lin, who had gone to ask for instructions, came back. The military had agreed, and so had the Qing Emperor. The Qing Emperor's dynasty had taken down Tianhu Pass, but it was currently blocked by 2 armies. Tianhu Pass could only be used as a defensive fortification. It could not be used as an attack platform. In addition, Qinglin and Qingyuan had also come. The empire was at war, and they were willing to cooperate with Knight Sorrow. That's good. You guys attacked the other defensive line of the Red Emperor's country. Ever since the Red Emperor's Sky Tiger army had problems, the army's strength has decreased. If you guys attack, the Tianhu Pass will be weaker. However, your army is not full yet. There are only 3 armies. Be careful, Knight Sorrow said. Okay, then we will go back and prepare. We will go out. Qingyuan nodded. One more thing. People die in war. It is the fate of soldiers to die on the battlefield. However, after you win, just destroy the city lord's residence. Kill the city lord and plunder his resources. Don't hurt the innocent people. Knight Sorrow thought for a while and reminded them. Qinglin and Qingyuan nodded and left Tianhu Pass. Don't hurt the innocent. This is very similar to father. Our courage and magnanimity are still lacking, Qinglin said. That's right. We can't help but admire his ability. His magnanimity is also something that ordinary people don't have. Also, I admire him for being able to return safely from the dark abyss. Of course, I don't think he will do anything that will harm his dignity and betray the empire, Qingyuan said. He will tell father the details, but there is no need to explain it to others. Let's go back and prepare for the attack. The 9 Heaven Army and Knight Sorrow were famous in the last war. This might be our chance, Qinglin said. Qinglin said. He also had dreams of revenge in his heart because the children of Emperor Qing also needed to stand up. They could not just be famous disciples. While waiting for the scouts' battle report, Knight Sorrow familiarized himself with the 9 heavy armor. The Azure Supreme Tharch knew what Knight Sorrow's element was. Hence, within the 9-layered armor, there were space and time arrays. This was a level that Knight Sorrow had yet to explore. As long as Knight Sorrow activated his energy, the space and time arrays would be activated. Most of the attacks would be blocked. It depended on the level of the attacker. 2 days later, the scouts reported that the Red Emperor's 2 armies were here. The other lines of defense were relatively empty. In terms of defense, the Qihua army's defense was better. The people under the Qidu army were a bit messy. Continue scouting. The Qihua army is secondary. Keep an eye on the Qidu army. Don't give me a chance. If I do, I'll kill him, Knight Sorrow ordered. The Qidu army's actions had touched Knight Sorrow's bottom line. Knight Sorrow waited. He waited for Qinglin and Qingyuan army to move first. Then he would see how the Qihua army and the Qidu army would react. No matter who moved first, he would deal with the Qidu army. As long as the 2 armies were separated, that would be his chance. The 7 armies within the Heaven Tiger Pass were training intensely every day. They were cultivating the combined attack formation. In the previous battle, everyone had seen the might of the combined attack formation. It was a treasure that could kill enemies and save lives. While Yishang was waiting, the Crimson Emperor Kingdom received the news that Qinglin and Qingyuan were going out on 2 fronts. They moved quickly and attacked the cities on the border of the Crimson Emperor Kingdom. The Red Emperor held a meeting. Father, it's obvious that our 2 armies are outside the Heaven Tiger Pass. The Qing Emperor's empire feels that they have an opportunity, Crown Prince Akatsuki said. In the Crimson Emperor nation, apart from the Crimson Emperor, Qi Tianxin had the most authority and prestige. He wasn't the eldest son of the Crimson Emperor. He was bestowed the title of Crown Prince because of his outstanding talents. He was considered a latecomer, and his strength and ability were at the top of the Crimson Emperor's sons. No matter if it was the arrogant Qi Du or Qi Hua, who had strong military abilities, they all admired Qi Tianxin because he was a peak-level monarch. He was infinitely close to a peak-level monarch. A peak-level monarch was at the same level as Emperor Qing and Emperor Crimson. It's not entirely because of that. Qi Du killed the soldiers who failed the Heaven Tiger Pass. The Black Tiger army of the 9 Heaven Army could not accept it, the Red Emperor said. My king, if the 9 Heaven Army is angry, it shouldn't be Qinglin and Qingyuan fighting, an official said. The commander of the 9 Heaven Army, Knight Sorrow, is the #1 commander of the Qing Emperor's empire. Qinglin and Qingyuan armies are under his control. How does he want to fight? Qinglin and Qingwan, the two princes, must cooperate. Akatsuki looked at the official and said, "The situation is obvious. If we move the two armies in front of the Heaven Tiger Pass, the 9 Heaven Army will attack. If we don't move the two armies, our armies won't be strong enough. How do you think we should solve this problem?" The Red Emperor stood up from his throne. The Red Emperor knew this was the result of Chi-Du's actions, but he never punished his son in front of other people. No matter how big a mistake he made, he would only scold him in private. He would not destroy his son's dignity. It did not matter if the Red Emperor was a good king or not, but he was a good father. Because of his way of doing business, he had nurtured several outstanding children. "Father, after the Heaven Tiger Army was damaged, Chiwa's army is not strong enough. Chi-Du's army is weak too. If we move one of the armies, 9 Heaven Army will destroy the remaining one." Akatsuki looked at the Red Emperor as he spoke. "That makes sense. What do you think?" The Red Emperor nodded. He knew Akatsuki was talking about their current predicament. "I want to go to war." Akatsuki bowed to the Red Emperor. "But you don't have an army." The Red Emperor looked at Akatsuki. "I don't have an army, but I have the Heaven's Heart Prefecture soldiers. Although we are lacking in numbers, with 2 more armies, we can fight against any army. We can even destroy an army," Akatsuki said. "Then it's decided. Let the military give you 2 armies from the Red Emperor City's city guard. We will form a new army called the Heaven's Heart Army. We know how strong the Heaven's Heart Prefecture soldiers are. You can go to war and solve this problem," the Red Emperor said. "Then let me guard the Heaven Tiger Pass. Let Chiwa and Chi-Du take care of the Green Phoenix and Green Unicorn armies," Akatsuki said. The Red Emperor nodded and agreed. The Qing Emperor's dynasty's intelligence system was very advanced. He told the information to Knight Sorrow. "Rage Scale, you stay here. I will go and look after the Chi-Du army. I don't care about the Heaven's Heart Army. This time, I will take care of the Chi-Du army. I will follow them. When the time is right, I will teleport and destroy the Chi-Du army," Knight Sorrow said to Rage Scale. Chapter 1204. "Commander, you can let someone else do this. There's no need for you to do it yourself," Newlin said. "I have to bear most of the responsibility for the deaths of the Sky Tiger Army's soldiers. This cannot be avoided. You have to bear the consequences of your actions. Just do as I say." Knight Sorrow rejected Newlin's suggestion. He had to kill Chi-Du after that. Knight Sorrow set up a teleportation circle in the Sky Tiger Pass. The main reason was that the teleportation crystal in the Sky Tiger Pass main teleportation circle could not be lost. Using a teleportation crystal that could be cut out to save resources was enough. There was only one original, the others were all pirated copies. After setting up the teleportation circle, Knight Sorrow brought his men out of the Sky Tiger Pass. To make it less of a target, Knight Sorrow only brought Summer City, Feishio, and the Scout. Red Coat and Blue Shadow left Knight Sorrow in the Sky Tiger Pass. After leaving the Sky Tiger Pass, Knight Sorrow closed the Sky Ceiling Circle. Then, under the guidance of the Scout, they went to the Chi-Du Army's area and set up an ambush. "Your Highness, we don't know how they're going to deploy their armies. We only know that Akatsuki has formed an army. Will this plan work?" Summer City asked. "It will. No matter what, we just need to keep an eye on the Chi-Du army. When the other 2 armies are unable to reinforce them, that will be our chance to kill them," Knight Sorrow said. Knight Sorrow felt that no matter how the Red Emperor's armies were deployed, the 3 armies would not be able to move together. As long as the 3 armies split up and went to deal with Qinglin and Qingwan's armies, that would be his chance. As long as the Sky Heart Army and Chiwa Army were 2 to 4 hours away from Chi-Du, he would dare to attack. Summer City nodded. He could see that Knight Sorrow was determined to kill Chi-Du. Knight Sorrow waited for news. He had spies by his side, and the spies' main bodies were in the Heaven Tiger Pass. If there were any battle reports, they would inform him immediately. The Red Emperor's army was very efficient. This was also Akatsuki's first time leading an army into battle. The Red Emperor's officials cooperated fully. In just 2 days, Akatsuki's men were marching toward Sky Tiger Pass. After hearing the report from the Scout, Night Sorrow waved his arm. Very good. It seems like the army is changing their defense. Akatsuki's men, Machang, will be blocking the front. However, at Heaven Tiger Pass, Chiwa and the Crimson Dew army will be leaving to block Qinglin and Qingwan. Once they move, it will be our chance. Perfect planning. This was Summer City's evaluation of Night Sorrow. He felt that Night Sorrow was always able to find the crux of the problem. Chidu was being targeted. This was bad luck. Chidu received the notice to wait for the Sky Heart army to arrive. He would go and fight with the Qingwan army. Chidu was convinced by the Red Emperor's arrangements. Although Night Sorrow didn't give him face and he wanted to kill Night Sorrow, he knew that his men couldn't fight against the Nine Heaven army alone. I hope the Crown Prince can intimidate the Nine Heaven army and kill Night Sorrow. Sector Lord? Even a Sector Lord can fall. Chidu murmured. Night Sorrow wanted to deal with him. In his heart, he also wanted to kill Night Sorrow, because for countless years, no one dared to humiliate him. If we want to get rid of him completely, we still need to solve the problem of his original body. The old man beside Chidu said. This old man's name was Ganqing. He was the personal bodyguard that the Red Emperor arranged for Chidu. He was also very strong. This Wang Dan is a Sector Lord. His original body is hiding in the Nine Regions world. It is indeed very difficult to kill him. At that time, it was all because of that bitch Qingwan. If she didn't interfere, Night Sorrow might have surrendered to the Nine Heaven world. Chidu said. If the prince's performance is better, maybe there is a possibility of marriage. There is still a chance. Ganqing said. He knew that his young master had always been thinking about Qingwan. Yes, after the war, I will find an opportunity to bring people to slaughter the Nine Heaven world. The Red Emperor's empire and the Qing Emperor's empire are opponents. What can we do if we attack the world they protect? Chidu's eyes were full of ferocity. This isn't appropriate. If the Qing Emperor's empire reacts strongly, then the subordinate world of our Red Emperor's empire will also be attacked. Ganqing was a little worried. He was worried that if Chidu really did this, it would easily lead to very serious consequences. If the Red Emperor was really angry, then Chidu's position in the Red Emperor's empire would drop. He, as a protector, would not have any benefits. I will report it to my father. I may pay a price, but it will cause a knot in Night Sorrow's heart, and a serious negative impact on his soul. It is worth it. After all, Night Sorrow is now the first commander of the Qing Emperor's empire. He is also the beloved disciple of the Qing Emperor. If something happens to Night Sorrow, his soul will be covered in dust and he will not be able to recover. I think it is still worth it. Chidu said his thoughts. After listening to Chidu's explanation, Ganqing felt that it was quite appropriate. After all, Night Sorrow was a very important person in the Qing Emperor's empire. As for the Qing Emperor's empire attacking the subordinate world of the Red Emperor's empire, then the Red Emperor's empire would also fight back. It would be a lose-lose situation. In the end, the result would still be reconciliation. 2 days later, the Sky Heart Corps arrived 200 miles away from the Sky Tiger Pass and set up camp. At the same time, the order from the Red Emperor's empire's army arrived. It ordered Chiwa and Chidu to lead their men to attack the Green Qilin and Green Phoenix Corps. If the Nine Heaven Corps appeared in the area attacked by the Green Qilin and Green Phoenix Corps, then the Sky Heart Corps would rush over to help. After receiving the order, both Chiwa and Chidu moved and teleported to the nearest city. This caused Night Sorrow's plan to fail. He, Summer City, and Feishio also went to the nearest city. After asking around, they found out that the Chidu Corps had teleported to Jinling City, and that Jinling City was close to where the Green Phoenix Corps was attacking. Night Sorrow brought the few people around him and teleported to Jinling City. After arriving at Jinling City, Night Sorrow found out about the Chidu Corps' movements. The Chidu Corps was stationed outside Jinling City. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow felt that the Chidu Corps was waiting. He wanted to find out the Green Phoenix Corps' movements, and then attack the Green Phoenix Corps with the local forces. Inform Nu Lin. Tell Qing Lin and the Qingwan army to stop fighting for now. Night Sorrow said to the messenger beside him. Night Sorrow did this to stop the Chidu Corps from moving. This way he would have a chance to deal with them. Your Highness is planning to deal with the Chi-Du Corps here? But this place is only an hour away from Jinling City. It's too close. There will be an endless stream of reinforcements. It will be very difficult to take them down. Summer City said. Without the information of Qing Qilin and Qing Wuan Corps, the Chi-Du Corps won't move. This will give me a chance to set up a formation. I will secretly set up a formation and surround the entire camp. Even if reinforcements come, it will be able to hold them off for a while. Now there are two key tasks. One is to destroy the teleportation formation in the camp as soon as the battle starts. The other is to destroy the teleportation formation in Jinling City, and then kill the Chi-Du Corps. Knight Sorrow spoke his thoughts. Chapter 1205. Summer City nodded. He wasn't good at war tactics, but he felt that Knight Sorrow's method was still feasible. The most difficult part of this operation is the destruction of the teleportation formation. After I've arranged everything, Uncle Summer, go to Jinling City and destroy the teleportation formation at the agreed time. Then hide and pay attention to see if there are any hidden teleportation formations. If there are any, continue to attack and destroy them. Also, Feishio, you have to go. I'm not strong enough, so you'll be in charge of destroying the teleportation formation. Knight Sorrow said to Feishio. Feishio nodded. He knew that this mission was very important. Then I'll start working. Uncle Summer, help me control the energy waves when the formation is activated. Knight Sorrow finished speaking and brought people to the area near the barracks. Then he set up an illusion formation. Summer City used the will of the heavens to suppress the energy waves of Knight Sorrow's formation. After getting close to the barracks, Knight Sorrow began to set up the formation around the barracks. First, he set up an illusion formation to hide his body and hide the area where the formation was set up. Then he set up the strongest formation he could set up, the Heaven Sealing Deathlock formation. This formation was born out of the Heaven Sealing formation and the Heaven Sealing formation, but its level was much lower than the two formations. However, its power was already very shocking. It was very difficult to set up a formation that covered an entire barracks. Knight Sorrow used almost 3 days to complete it. He also used thousands of Saint Spirit Stones. Knight Sorrow set up a large illusion formation, and then set up a teleportation formation. After doing all this, Knight Sorrow returned to Tianhu Pass and began to gather people. He left the Imping army to guard Tianhu Pass. With Tianhu Pass as a defensive structure, even if someone attacked, an army would be able to hold them off for a while. Looking at the assembled army, Knight Sorrow first knocked on the 9 layers of armor that were already protecting his body. We are soldiers, so we naturally have to respect our soldiers and respect our soldiers. That's respecting ourselves. The Red Emperor's Chi-Du shamelessly massacred thousands of soldiers from the Sky Tiger Legion. I cannot accept that. Furthermore, the Sky Tiger Pass changed hands because of me. I am responsible for the massacre of the soldiers from the Sky Tiger Pass. I, Knight Sorrow, will avenge them. Hearing Knight Sorrow's words, all the soldiers knocked on their breastplates. The Black Tiger army even knelt on one knee. I've already arranged everything. What we need now is for everyone to kill the enemy and wipe out the Chi-Du army. Now let's start the teleportation. Knight Sorrow pointed at the sky, following which, under the arrangements of the various generals, the 9 Heavens army began to teleport. All the soldiers were very excited. They only knew one thing, which was that the commander had already arranged everything. What they needed to do was to kill the enemy. Permanently free equals take a look. Feeling that one teleportation formation was too slow, Knight Sorrow set up another one that was connected to the main teleportation formation of the Sky Tiger Pass. This allowed the 9 Heavens army to teleport faster. This way, they would be able to retreat faster. When retreating, they just had to destroy the teleportation formation that was connected to the main teleportation formation. As he watched the soldiers of the 9 Heavens Legion continuously teleport away, Yishan looked at Xiacheng. Uncle Xia, you can set off now. According to my calculations, we will begin our operation in 2 hours. While you destroy the teleportation array, we will also begin fighting. Fei Xiu knew Lin, I shouldn't have left His Highness' side. However, this mission can only be completed by me. His Highness' safety depends on you. Nothing can happen to him. Otherwise, even if we kill all the soldiers from the Red Emperor's kingdom, we will still lose. Summer City looked at Fei Xiu, Nu Lin, and the others. All the generals nodded at Summer City. Then Summer City set off. Nu Lin, arrange for people to set up another teleportation formation. When we leave, we must be fast. This time, it will be a blitzkrieg. We will leave after killing them. No matter what tactics the Red Emperor's kingdom uses, they will not be able to surround us. Knight Sorrow instructed Nu Lin. Nu Lin nodded. He would carry out Knight Sorrow's instructions to the best of his ability. The Nine Heavens Army did not have any Sky Adept level array masters, but there were many array masters who could set up teleportation formations. Knight Sorrow calculated the time. The time for the attack was about to arrive. Qing Emperor's Kingdom Guard, form a formation and protect His Highness. Remember to stay close to him, Fei Xiu said. My Highness, Captain Fei Xiu will stay by your side. Seven Ju and I will destroy the teleportation formation. Qi Du should have experts around him. You must have someone by your side, Qin Leitang said. All right, then get ready. We won the battle against the Dark Abyss. This battle will determine our victory against the Red Emperor's kingdom. It's about time. Prepare for battle. Knight Sorrow let out a breath and gave the order. Everyone in the Nine Heavens Army unsheathed their weapons and waited for the order. I don't have any requests for you. Just come back alive. The celebratory wine at Sky Tiger Pass is waiting for you. When you kill the enemy, protect every brother by your side. Knight Sorrow looked at the soldiers of the Nine Heavens Army who were filled with killing intent. Then he activated the Ceiling Sky Kill formation. The wind and clouds changed. The energy on the ground rolled. The Ceiling Sky Kill formation was activated. It enveloped the Qi Du army's camp and the area where the soldiers of the Nine Heavens Army were. Knight Sorrow also activated the illusion formation. The Nine Heavens Army charged at the unprepared Qi Du army. Qin Leitang and Seven Ju found the location of the teleportation formation. They led their men and charged over. Before the enemy could react, they destroyed the teleportation formation. Slaughter. The 6 armies of the Nine Heavens Army had a combination formation. Against the unprepared Qi Du army's 4 armies, it was a one-sided slaughter. Knight Sorrow led the Qing Emperor's Guard and the strongest Angry Lin army to charge towards the main tent where Qi Du was. Those who blocked the way were directly cut down. Soon, the group of people reached the main tent. Qi Du and Ganqing led their guards and glared at Knight Sorrow. How is this possible? Qi Du could not believe what he was seeing, because the 4 legions under his command were finished, and only a small portion of his men were left to resist. Nothing is impossible. Back then, when you used the 9 Firmament World Group to threaten me, I decided to kill you. At that time, it was just a personal grudge between us. I endured it, but this time you slaughtered thousands of Sky Tiger Legion soldiers. I can't endure it anymore, and the soldiers' souls can't wait either. Today you will die, said Yishan as he pointed at Qi Du Ganqing. Kill him at all costs. Qi Du's eyes were bloodshot as he roared at Ganqing. I will take the prince away. For Ganqing, protecting Qi Du was the #1 priority. He knew that killing Knight Sorrow would be difficult. Although no one here was stronger than him, Angry Lin and Fei Xiu were all monarchs. There was also a team of Qing Emperor's Guard. Knight Sorrow wouldn't be so easy to kill. This is an order. Kill. Qi Du roared and charged towards Knight Sorrow. Qing Emperor's Guard form a formation and kill. Fei Xiu didn't move. He shouted at the Qing Emperor's Guard. The Qing Emperor's Guard, the 3 high-level kings, were far stronger than those of the same level. They also cultivated a combination formation. Fei Xiu felt that he could stop Qi Du, even if he was a monarch. The biggest threat was Ganqing. He was an expert among the monarchs. Fei Xiu regretted it now. He shouldn't have done the mission in Summer City. Chapter 1206. It has almost all the books you want to read. It's much more stable than other websites. The updates are faster, and there are no advertisements. At this time, Ganqing also moved. He rushed towards Knight Sorrow. Angry Kirin swung his halberd towards Ganqing. At the same time, he shouted for the other generals to help. He didn't care about his own safety, but Knight Sorrow couldn't be harmed. Angry Kirin was knocked back by Ganqing's sword. At this time, Fei Xiu also attacked Ganqing. Hearing Angry Kirin's shout, Qin Leitang and Wei Wei rushed over. 7 Zhu Jifeng and Qi Wang were still fighting with Qi Du's generals. At this time, Angry Kirin, Qin Leitang and Fei Xiu worked together to suppress Ganqing. Wei Wei stood beside Knight Sorrow. Don't just stand there. Kill him for me. Knight Sorrow's body flashed as he charged towards Qi Du. Time was of the essence. Knight Sorrow knew that Qi Du must have sent a message to the Red Emperor's country. Once Wei Wei and Knight Sorrow joined the battle, Qi Du couldn't handle it. The Qing Emperor's guard's joint attack was already very difficult for him. Now Wei Wei, who was as strong as him, joined the fray. He couldn't handle it. Wei Wei's attacks forced him back. Space Fisher. Because of his low cultivation, normal attacks were useless against Qi Du. Knight Sorrow used Space Fisher. The Black Space Fisher slashed towards Qi Du as the creator of the joint attack. Knight Sorrow's attack happened to hit the gap in the joint attack. Qi Du's body flashed and dodged Yi Chang's spatial crack. However, he was slashed in the back by one of the Azure the Archguards, a high-level monarch king. The website's pages are clean, and there are few advertisements. I love this kind of website. Although the slash didn't break Qi Du's armor, Qi Du's organs were shaken. He spat out blood. Die. At this time, Knight Sorrow used Soul Extinguishing Slash. The deep purple crescent blade, supported by the will of space and time, directly cut into Qi Du's spirit sea. Soul Extinguishing Slash was effective. Knight Sorrow used Space Twisting Dragon Kill to kill Qi Du. Knight Sorrow wasn't the only one attacking. Wei Wei was also attacking. Wei Wei's attack landed on Qi Du's back, shattering his armor. Qi Du's body was pushed forward, and he was hit by Knight Sorrow's Space Revolving Dragon Kill. His chest and abdomen were directly blown apart. At the same time, Knight Sorrow's Soul Extinguishing Slash also cut through Qi Du's spirit sea. The crescent blade circled around and returned to Knight Sorrow's spirit sea. After picking up Qi Du's spatial ring and weapon, Knight Sorrow shook his head. They still had an owner, which meant that Qi Du's clone had died. Damn it. Thousand Shadow Slash. Seeing Qi Du killed, Ganqing was enraged. Her body flashed, and many phantoms appeared as she rushed towards Knight Sorrow. Your Highness, dodge. Nu Lin roared. He couldn't distinguish between the phantoms and the real one, so he couldn't stop them. Before Knight Sorrow's body flashed, he first used energy to activate the 9 heavy armor. Just as Knight Sorrow activated the 9 heavy armor, Ganqing's attack arrived. Her powerful blade slashed Knight Sorrow's chest, sending Knight Sorrow flying. Just as Ganqing's phantoms flashed again and chased after Knight Sorrow, an angry roar sounded. You're courting death. Earth Cage, 7 universal slashes. Summer City had appeared. He had destroyed the teleportation circle and rushed over because he was worried about Knight Sorrow's safety. For a long time, free of charge, look, Nu Lin and the others couldn't tell where Ganqing's real body was, and all the phantoms had attacking power. It was a battle skill that Ganqing used her life force to activate. Nu Lin and the others couldn't, but Summer City could. Summer City was an earth elemental, so she used an earth elemental spatial skill to suppress all of Ganqing's phantoms. She then waved her blade and slashed at the phantoms. After a few slashes, Ganqing's phantoms were killed by Summer City, leaving only her real body. You're going to die today. Summer City slashed at Ganqing again and again. After 5 slashes, Ganqing was killed. Wei Wei helped Knight Sorrow up. Wiping the blood from the corner of his mouth, Knight Sorrow looked at Nu Lin and the others. Kill them all. We don't have much time. They will set up a teleportation circle. In fact, when his army was under attack, Qi Du's real body had already gone to the Red Emperor's palace to report to the Red Emperor. After confirming that 9 Heavens army had appeared in Jinling City within the Red Emperor's empire, the Red Emperor immediately arranged for all the elites of the Red Emperor's empire to come out, including the Sky Heart army at Heaven Tiger Pass, Chiwa's army, and the Red Emperor's palace guards. All of them were dispatched to Jinling City. When his doppelganger was killed, Qi Du's real body paled. Father, they can't hold on any longer. My doppelganger has been killed. Knowing that the army under Chi-Du was on the verge of collapsing, the Crimson Emperor personally ordered everyone to rush to Jinling City as fast as possible and surround the Nine Heavens army. As long as they could defeat the Nine Heavens army, it would be worth it even if they lost an army. Knight Sorrow felt a sense of crisis. After the battle ended, some people cleaned up the battlefield while others began to teleport. Knight Sorrow's injuries were very serious. Ganqing was a monarch, and a powerful one at that. If it wasn't for Knight Sorrow's 9 layers of armor, even if Knight Sorrow's body was strong, he would still be half dead. The 3 teleportation circles teleported together very quickly. When only the New Lin army was left, the Red Emperor's empire's reinforcements had arrived. They had already surrounded the battlefield, and were beginning to break the formation. You can't even keep up with the heat. What's the point of surrounding us now? Wei Wei cursed. It was supposed to be a happy thing, but Knight Sorrow's injuries made the generals very angry. The formation won't last long. The Chi-Du army doesn't have a heavenly adept formation master, but the Red Emperor's empire will definitely send a formation master. Tell everyone to teleport as fast as possible. I want to destroy the formation. Knight Sorrow didn't want his formation techniques to be studied by others. After the New Lin army teleported away, only Knight Sorrow, Summer City, and Feishio were left in the formation. Knight Sorrow removed the teleportation crystal that was connected to the Sky Tiger Pass teleportation circle. Then he removed 2 more teleportation circles, leaving only 1 behind. He then set up the Spirit Explosion formation. After bringing Summer City and the others to the teleportation circle, Knight Sorrow waved his arm and threw a Holy Spirit stone at the Sealing Sky Kill Lock formation. He wanted to destroy the Sealing Sky Kill Lock formation. His formation contained the essence of the Tao of formations. If he left the formation here, the Red Emperor's empire's heavenly adept formation masters would slowly study it. The Sealing Sky Kill Lock formation would be thoroughly studied. Chi-Du, you're lucky that I didn't kill your true body this time. But remember this matter isn't over. The 4 armies are just the prelude to the end of our grudge. After leaving behind this sentence, Knight Sorrow activated the teleportation circle. As Knight Sorrow activated the teleportation circle, the Sealing Sky Kill Lock formation started to collapse and shatter. The energy from the explosion sent all the people who were trying to break the formation flying. Those with a high cultivation base were fine, but those with a low cultivation base were either killed or seriously injured. Knight Sorrow's words traveled through the broken formation and reached the ears of Chi-Du, who was standing beside Akatsuki and Chiwa. This made Chi-Du's face turn even uglier. He immediately punched the air. He was still angry. Akatsuki didn't say anything. He knew that he had come too late. Chi-Du's army had been destroyed by Knight Sorrow just like that. Chapter 1207. We came too late. Before he attacked, he had already made all the necessary preparations. He calculated the movement of our troops and the timing of the siege. That was why he was able to retreat so easily after the battle, Chiwa said. This time, he had the upper hand because he had been calculating from the beginning. We were passive in the battle. Every step was within his calculations. He is a genius. Looking at the messy battlefield after the formation energy dissipated, Akatsuki felt a little helpless. After the Battle of Wits, it was a battle of courage. After returning to the Sky Tiger Pass, Knight Sorrow asked someone to count the casualties while he sat on the chair that Hong Yi had brought over. At that moment, Ganqing's energy was still destroying his body. However, Knight Sorrow's body recovered quickly, so his injuries wouldn't worsen. After counting, New Lin reported that the Nine Heaven Army had lost less than 400 people after killing 4 armies of the Crimson Dew Army. That was close to half of the army. Let's deal with the aftermath as usual. We can't let our brothers bleed and cry. Write the battle report in Hongyi, stamp it with the commander's seal. I'll go heal myself first. Also, inform Qinglin and Qingluan armies to stay put for the time being. The Red Emperor's nation should be a mad dog right now. Knight Sorrow opened his eyes and teleported back to the 9 grand floors. After entering the secret cultivation room, he began to refine the energy in his body. Nu Lin wrote the battle report and sighed. Night Sorrow's injuries had to be written in the battle report. Night Sorrow could choose not to write it, but he couldn't not write it. Nu Lin was a little embarrassed. 6 armies had fought and the commanders were fine, but the commander was injured. If this spread out, it would be very embarrassing. However, this couldn't be blamed on anyone. Ganqing was beside the Crimson Dew army, and the commanders couldn't stop him. Luckily, Summer City had returned in time. After receiving the battle report, Qing Emperor glanced at it and threw it on the table. Night Sorrow sacrificed half of his men to kill an entire army. He did his best as a commander, but he was almost killed. Whose responsibility is this? Qing Emperor was a little angry. After Xian Daozi read the battle report, he didn't say anything. The results of the battle were glorious, but Night Sorrow had been seriously injured. Let's go to the 9 Stories Tower. After saying that, the Qing Emperor left the Qing Emperor Palace and arrived at the 9 Stories Tower. Your Majesty, Summer City bowed when he saw the Qing Emperor. Tell me about the situation. Where were you when Night Sorrow was attacked? Qing Emperor asked while looking at Summer City. After Summer City bowed and apologized, he explained what had happened. On percent. I can't blame you. You had to follow his orders. He has his own mistakes. He can't tell the difference between porcelain and a crock. Qing Emperor flung his sleeves and sat down. In the situation at the time, only I could continue to monitor and destroy the teleportation portal in Jinling City after I dealt with it. So His Highness had no choice, Summer City said. He has a lot of power, but the things he does are always more difficult than that. Summer City, don't accept such orders in the future. Have someone else do it. He can't do it without someone by his side, Qing Emperor said. Summer City nodded. This time he was also a little scared. If he hadn't returned in time, the consequences would have been unimaginable. The battle at Sky Tiger Pass, and this time, the Red Emperor's nation was also destroyed. In a short period of time, our Qing Emperor's dynasty didn't have to pay a big price to cripple the Dark Abyss and the Red Emperor's nation. This is something only His Highness Night Sorrow can do, Xian Daozi said. When this guy comes out, we have to give him a good scolding. He's a treasure himself. It's impossible for him to ignore his own safety. Qing Emperor felt that there were some things that needed to be said about Night Sorrow. Your Majesty, I think that after these few battles, the army merits will be a problem. How are they going to earn merits in the future? Xian Daozi said with a smile. That's true. We'll think about it when we get back. We can't just say that they worked hard to solve the problem. Now that the dynasty has no more problems, we can't give them merits. Qing Emperor nodded. Your Majesty, that Qi Du clone was killed, and his army was wiped out. This is a big problem, Summer City said. Qing Emperor did not say anything. So what if it was a big problem? The Qing Emperor's dynasty was not afraid of the Red Emperor's dynasty's provocation. No matter how the Red Emperor's dynasty provoked them, they would fight back. Besides, the current situation was clear. The Red Emperor's dynasty could no longer defend against the Qing Emperor's dynasty's attack. One army could not defend the Sky Tiger Pass. With 2 armies defending it, the other lines of defense would have to face the attacks of the Green Qilin and Green Phoenix armies. After 2 days of recuperation, Night Sorrow was almost fully recovered. When he opened his eyes, he felt the concentric crystal in his sleeve vibrate. He took it out and poured energy into it. What are you doing? I've looked for you a few times, but you didn't respond. You don't look well. Are you injured? Datira, who had just scolded Night Sorrow angrily, could see that Night Sorrow did not look well. A few days ago, I was attacked by an overlord. It's not a big problem. I'm almost fully recovered, Night Sorrow said as he shook his body. Can't you pay attention to your own safety? You are the #1 commander of the Qing Emperor's dynasty. If there's anything you need, just give orders. Why are you charging at the front? Datira said with a frown. Qi Du, I must kill him. This time it's a clone. Next time, I'll kill his real body, Night Sorrow said. There's no rush. I've given you the resources for a few days now, but you haven't taken them. Also, I've sent 2 special overlords. They are good at hiding their cultivation. If you need anything, you can ask them for help, Datura said. I know. Be careful in the future, Night Sorrow said. If something like this happens again, I'll teach you a lesson, Datura said as he turned off the concentric crystal. Night Sorrow put away the concentric crystal and left the secret cultivation room. Seeing the Qing Emperor Xiandaozi and Summer City drinking tea, Night Sorrow was stunned for a moment. He then bowed to greet them. Your body is strong enough. Although you have 9 layers of armor, you recovered in 3 days after taking a full blow from a peak overlord. That's impressive, Qing Emperor said as he looked at Night Sorrow. Master knows. Uncle Xia, why are you saying this? You're making Master worry. Yishang picked up the teapot and poured tea for them. If it wasn't for your Uncle Xia, how could you hide this from me? Remember, you're the prince of the Qing Emperor's dynasty. You're also the #1 commander. Your status is higher than a prince's. You're a piece of porcelain, not a broken jar. You have to be responsible for your army. From today onwards, you're only allowed to command the war. You're not allowed to fight personally, Qing Emperor ordered as he looked at Night Sorrow. Master, I was careless this time. I won't do it again. Please don't be angry, Master. Night Sorrow quickly took out a bottle of wine and placed it in front of Qing Emperor. You have to take my words to heart. It makes sense that a gentleman doesn't stand under a collapsing wall. I understand that you have your own ideals when leading the army, but only by living can you fulfill your ideals and ambitions. Now many people from the Qing Emperor's dynasty have snuck in, and they all want to deal with you. The Red Emperor's dynasty has suffered a great loss, and they won't let it go. In the past, the Red Emperor wanted your life for 1,000,000 merits. Now the price is too high. Can you be careless? Qing Emperor looked at Night Sorrow helplessly. Chapter 1208. Thank you for your advice, Master. I will remember it. Night Sorrow nodded. He knew that Qing Emperor was talking about survival. Nodding at Yishang, the Azure Supreme Tharch left the 9 Chao Pagoda. He felt that since he had reminded Yishang should be more vigilant and careful. In the next few days, Night Sorrow fully recovered from his injuries before going to Heaven Tiger Pass to take a look. Heaven Tiger Pass was already on the right track. In addition, the Red Emperor's army outside Heaven Tiger Pass had also retreated. Akatsuki did not dare to let the Sky Heart army near Heaven Tiger Pass. He was also worried that Night Sorrow would suddenly attack his Sky Heart army. If that happened, the Red Emperor's nation would really have no army to use. It would take time to form a new army. The top forces all had reserves of soldiers, but the combat power of a new army could not be compared to an old army. Currently, the Red Emperor's nation could only shrink their defensive line. They could not afford to fight. After arriving at Heaven Tiger Pass, Night Sorrow thought for a while and called the generals to the commander's office. The continuous battles have exhausted the soldiers. Let's rest for a while. Also, the soldiers of the 9 Heavens army can't only be given holidays. In the future, 2 out of the 7 armies will be swapped out for rest. They can leave the camp freely and spend time with their families. Don't we have a piece of land at the side of the 9 grand floors? Let's build it up. It will be the family quarters of the 9 Heavens army in the future, Night Sorrow said to the generals. Thank you, Commander. The generals bowed. They knew that this was Night Sorrow's benevolence in caring for his soldiers. Also, take note of one thing. When soldiers go out, they will come into contact with many people. It is easy for them to be infiltrated. I don't care how you deal with this. You can use oaths to bind them or use other methods. In short, you must arrange it well. Another thing is that the army will go out. New Lin, you 7 generals will discuss this, but the letter of challenge must be reported to the 9 grand floors for Jun Xuanji's records. I will activate the barrier, Night Sorrow said to the generals. Night Sorrow was worried that the 9 Heavens army would be infiltrated. New Lin and the others bowed as they had to deal with this matter by themselves. There is also the issue of resources. Our 9 Heavens army should have a lot of merits, but if it's not enough, report it to the 9 grand floors. After explaining everything, Yishang returned to the 9-layer pagoda. As for the safety of the Heaven Tiger Pass, he didn't have to worry because the Heaven Ceiling Formation and the heaven-sealing formation's array discs were in his hands. Staying in the Ninchong building, Yishang brewed tea and studied the array diagrams. In the Red Emperor's pavilion, Chi-Du reported his plans to the Red Emperor. "Father, although there is a personal grudge, if we destroy the Nine Heavens World Group, then Night Sorrow's heart will be covered in dust. His virtuous body will be destroyed." "You are right. It is worth it to pay a price to destroy this person. You go and deal with this matter," the Red Emperor shouted to the person beside him. After Chi-Du returned to his residence, he gathered all his soldiers together. He felt that it was not enough, so he went to the Crown Prince's residence and asked Crown Prince Akatsuki to lend him a small team of soldiers. The Tianjin Prefecture soldiers were very famous in the Red Emperor's country. They were the Crown Prince's personal guards, second only to the Red Emperor's personal guards. Akatsuki did not refuse and lent Chi-Du a small team of soldiers. Chi-Du felt that it was enough. The leader was a sovereign. In addition, Chi-Du's protector, Ganqing, was also a sovereign. Although Ganqing's clone was killed, his original body could still fight. Everything was ready. Chi-Du brought his people to the Nine Firmament world through the transmission array, and then to the mysterious sky world. Just as the group of people left the mysterious sky world's teleportation array, a group of people appeared out of thin air. Among them, four sovereigns led the group and suppressed Chi-Du's group. Originally, Ganqing was very strong, but his clone was killed and he suffered some injuries. He was suppressed by two sovereigns. Similarly, Chi-Du's clone was killed and his strength was damaged. He was also suppressed by a sovereign. In addition, the leader of the Tianjin Prefecture soldiers and another man in blood-red clothes were equally matched. The subordinates of both sides were fighting. The group of people who suddenly appeared had the advantage. "Who are you people?" "This prince is Chi-Du of the Red Emperor's country," Chi-Du shouted. "I don't care who you are. I will kill you people who have bad intentions," the man who was fighting with Chi-Du said. Suo_new chapter FZ section Chi in the distance, Qianzhenyu just watched. He had never seen a battle like this. This was a battle between a sovereign, a high-level king, and a mid-level king. A few days ago, Datura brought people here, and told Qianzhenyu that all of this was to protect the mysterious sky world. Qianzhenyu had seen Night Sorrow and Datura together. Naturally, he would not object to such a thing. He could not object. Datura arranged for this group of people to stay near the teleportation array. Today, when Chi-Du and the others appeared, this group of people would kill them directly. Qianzhenyu knew that such a group could massacre the mysterious sky world at will. Even the Nine Heavens World group would find it difficult to resist. Just as Qianzhenyu was thinking, Datura appeared wearing a black silk dress embroidered with a golden Datura and a veil. "There are really people who came to court death. Then I will fulfill your wish." With a whisper, Datura's hollow battle sword appeared and slashed. One slash. With just one slash, Ganqing was cut in half. Then Datura's body floated, and he kept attacking. The hollow battle sword carried the law of heaven. Every slash carried a halo of light that enveloped the opponent, making it impossible for the opponent to dodge. After a few slashes, Chi-Du was the only sovereign left. "Stop, you can't kill me." Seeing that he was the only sovereign left beside him, Chi-Du roared, "Kneel down and surrender or die." Datura's voice was full of killing intent. After hesitating for a moment, Chi-Du knelt on one knee and stabbed his battle sword into the ground. "You still want to play tough with me? I'll make you kneel." Datura's right foot shook, and a light wave flew out and broke Chi-Du's right leg, making him kneel on the ground. "Lock him up. Leave no one else alive." Datura gave the order. In a moment, none of the people brought by Chi-Du were left. "Take this person to the dark abyss for me. In addition, send 2 groups of blood-robed guards to the Nine Heavens world to wait for me. Hurry." Datura gave the order to the people around her. She knew that Chi-Du was captured, so the Red Emperor must know. Glancing at Qianzhenyu, Datura took the people to the Nine Heavens world's teleportation formation. If they wanted to fight, they would fight in the Nine Heavens world. In the Nine Heavens world, Datura activated the concentric crystal. Night Sorrow, Chidu was captured by me and sent to the dark abyss. You can kill him later. Chapter 1209. And BSB. I'm going to kill him now so that the Red Emperor won't show up. Night Sorrow closed the concentric crystal and walked towards the teleportation array. Summer City and Fatio followed. When they saw Night Sorrow's cold expression, they knew something was wrong. After arriving at 7 Night City, Night Sorrow teleported twice to the 9 Heavens realm. I've sent him to the dark abyss, Datira said. Give him to me. I want to kill him. Night Sorrow said to Datira. I didn't kill him. I left him for you. Datira nodded. Fatio, go to the dark abyss and take him from 7 Night City to the 9 Heavens Pavilion. Then send him to Sky Tiger Pass. Kill him later to pay tribute to the dead. Night Sorrow said to Fatio. Datira nodded to a blood-robed guard beside him. The blood-robed guard took Fatio and left. I didn't expect them to touch my hometown. They really don't have a bottom line. Night Sorrow knew that Datira had a backup plan. Otherwise, the mysterious sky world would have suffered a calamity and 7 Night City would have ceased to exist. At this time, the captain of the Red Emperor's Tianqin prefecture reported to Akatsuki that the entire army had been annihilated. Only his clone had been killed. His original body was still alive. Akatsuki brought the captain to the Red Emperor's pavilion. Report to His Majesty, Akatsuki said to the captain. There's still a problem. It seems like the blood-robed guards from the Dark Abyss are the personal guards of the Dark Ruler, Datira. When Datira captured Night Sorrow, the two of them reached some kind of agreement. After hearing the report, the Red Emperor stood up. Father, we were completely annihilated this time. Chidu was also there. Akatsuki's eyes were filled with killing intent because his personal guards had been killed and his brother, Chidu, was also in trouble. This is his tribulation. He shouldn't have killed the soldiers of Heaven Tiger Pass. He will be punished by the heavens. Although he hasn't been killed yet, it's unrealistic for him to ask the Dark Lord, Datira, to hand him over to us. If he doesn't, then there's nothing to talk about. The Red Emperor sighed. If Datira gave him face, then he also had face. Datira didn't give him any face, and he couldn't do anything in front of Datira. Then let's go to the 9 Firmament World group and hand over the person. We'll stop. If we don't hand over the person, we'll destroy the 9 Firmament World group. The Dark Ruler should still be there. Akatsuki was a little anxious, because he wanted to save Chidu. If we can't fight, Datira, this woman is strong and good at scheming. Would she be afraid of us fighting? I reckon that they have already made their preparations. If we were to use force, the Dark Abyss and the Azure Dharch Empire would attack the Crimson Emperor Kingdom together. If we were to attack their subsidiary world first, we would be in the wrong. If we were to fight, we would fight to the death, the Crimson Emperor said. Akatsuki didn't say anything. He knew that the Red Emperor was telling the truth. Chidu had fallen into the hands of the Dark Ruler. It was impossible to save him, unless Datira took the initiative to release him. Wait for the news. If Chidu's soul crystal doesn't break in 3 days, there is hope for survival. If it breaks, then ashes to ashes, dust to dust. You can't do things overboard. When you went to find Night Sorrow, maybe it was the beginning of his destiny. You can go back. The Red Emperor waved his hand. In front of Datira, the Red Emperor also felt a little helpless. After sending Akatsuki away, the Red Emperor thought for a while and left in a flash. He took the teleportation formation and came to the 9 Firmament World. You came alone. Are you going to fight me one-on-one? Datira asked. No, I didn't plan to fight. This is my son's fault. Do you have the conditions to let him go? Datira said. I won't let him go. From the moment that kid had no bottom line, he was destined to die. You can fight however you want. Datira, will take you on. Datira looked coldly at Red Emperor. At this moment, the Red Emperor looked at Night Sorrow and said, Kid, you have some tricks up your sleeve, but I'll put the blame on you. After saying those harsh words, The Red Emperor turned around and left. It would be embarrassing to continue the conversation. Red Emperor, remember this. If you die in a normal fight, it's because you're not as good as your opponent. If you're unscrupulous, don't blame me, Datira, for not playing by the rules, Datira replied. Update H Sonal Datira. Is it worth it for you to do this for him? The Red Emperor turned around and asked when they arrived at the teleportation portal. You know that I, Datira, never lie. Datira also stared into the Red Emperor's eyes. The Red Emperor didn't say anything and directly activated the teleportation portal. He knew that Chidu couldn't be saved. Besides, he had to consider the current situation carefully. Datira was so serious about helping Night Sorrow. There must be something that he didn't know. As for the Dark Abyss and the Qing Emperor's dynasty working together to deal with the Red Emperor's country, the Red Emperor knew that it wouldn't happen. Datira and the Qing Emperor weren't that kind of people. They wouldn't hesitate to fight small fights. If they really caused the eastern district of the world of reincarnation to be weakened, they would think twice. That's it. Night Sorrow looked at the teleportation portal in surprise. What else can we do? Fight to the death with me? What's the use of fighting to the death? He's the one who will suffer losses. Alright, you can go back. Datira nodded to Night Sorrow. With Summer City around, she naturally didn't say anything. Night Sorrow took Summer City back to the Jiochong building. Your Highness, what's going on? Summer City was confused. He didn't understand what was going on at all. You were there that day. I told Master that I had some agreements with the Dark Master, but I didn't betray Master or the Qing Emperor's dynasty, Night Sorrow said. I know, but you're too anxious. What's going on? Why would the Dark Master do this for you? Summer City was anxious. He really wanted to know. Night Sorrow didn't say anything because he didn't want anyone to know. Your Highness, I've been following you since you came out of the Azure Sky Pavilion, so I'm Your Highness's man. Unless there's something Your Highness can't handle, I'll report it to His Majesty. I won't tell His Majesty anything else. Please tell me, Summer City said. Really? You won't tell anyone? Night Sorrow looked at Summer City and asked. Really? I swear I won't tell anyone else. Summer City raised his hand and said. Alright. Uncle Summer is by my side. It's not appropriate for me to hide things from Uncle Summer. I have an agreement with Datira. It's a personal agreement. When I reach the Monarch stage, I'll go to the Dark Abyss to marry her, Night Sorrow said. Summer City's body shook. Your Highness, what did you just say? I didn't hear it clearly. You didn't hear it wrong. When I reach the Monarch stage, I'll go to the Dark Abyss to marry her, Night Sorrow repeated. What's going on? The Dark Master is going to marry someone? Summer City's eyes widened under the mask. I'm also confused. At that time, if I didn't agree, she would kill me. Now you see, Uncle Summer, she's serious about some things. I can't tell Master about these things because she won't let me, Night Sorrow said. Your Highness, you're the most ruthless person in the world of samsara. I really admire you. If the Red Emperor knew, he would spit blood. Summer City took a big gulp of tea from the teapot. Chapter 12:10. Br, Uncle Summer, just pretend you don't know about this. I don't care what the Red Emperor wants to do. If he doesn't come, others will come to kill him. Uncle Summer, do you think the 9 Grand Floors can fight their way in? Night Sorrow asked with a smile. Look at the original 6 chapter % section are on Z. That's for sure. Except for those giants, no matter how many people come, they will all die. Summer City said. Then it's settled. Now that we are safe, I don't care about anything else. No one can do anything to me. I will just cultivate. Night Sorrow said. Your Highness's attitude is very good. Many forces have taken action, but so what? The giants won't come easily. After all, it represents a declaration of war. Others can come if they want. Our 9 Grand Floors can also withstand some storms. Summer City said. Then Uncle Summer, pay more attention. Master said that there are many people. If there are people poking their heads in the 9 Grand Floors, just deal with them. Night Sorrow nodded to Summer City. Summer City nodded. He understood some things Knight Sorrow already knew. In the eastern district of the world of Samsara, with the support of the Qing Emperor and Datura, it would be difficult for anyone to touch Knight Sorrow. Then Knight Sorrow and Summer City arrived at the Heaven Tiger Pass. Chidu was still in the Heaven Tiger Pass. Now Knight Sorrow had to solve Chidu's problem. After Knight Sorrow arrived at the Heaven Tiger Pass, he went to the martial arts practice field. In the middle of the martial arts practice field, there was a big meteorite iron cage. Chidu was chained outside the cage with meteorite iron chains. Seven Ju and Chi Wang were personally watching over him. Seeing Knight Sorrow arrive, Seven Ju and Chi Wang both bowed. Knight Sorrow, you dare to kill me? Chidu with long hair roared at Knight Sorrow. Why wouldn't I dare? Knight Sorrow snorted coldly. I am a prince of the Red Emperor's kingdom. My father is a heaven pillar. If you dare to kill me, you won't be able to live either. Chidu glared at Knight Sorrow with bloodshot eyes. Nu Lin, gather the men. Today we will use his blood as a sacrifice to the soldiers who died. Knight Sorrow said to Nu Lin, who had heard of his arrival. Nu Lin bowed and went to gather his men. Soon, the 7 legions of the 9 Heavens Legion gathered at the training ground. We are soldiers. The word soldier has no borders. We are a group of people who protect our country and expand our territory. We are a group of people who deserve respect. This group of people includes us. Soldiers could die in battle, and dying in battle was a worthy death. It was their duty, but it could not be blasphemed. He had killed thousands of soldiers, so he deserved to die. Today, I want to kill him because of my personal grudge, but most importantly, I want to clear the name of the Sky Tiger Legion. Knight Sorrow said to the gathered soldiers of the 7 armies. In response to Knight Sorrow's words, the soldiers knocked on their breastplates. The entire Black Tiger Legion knelt on one knee. Thank you, Commander. Uncle Summer will supervise the execution. 7 absolutes, do it yourselves. Knight Sorrow turned and left. He had no interest in watching how Chidu was killed. Seeing Knight Sorrow leave, Summer City laughed. Using your status as a prince to scare our highness? You're scaring the wrong person. If our highness wants to kill you, who can protect you? Your old man stepped in, but the result was still the same. I don't believe it. Chidu roared. Now he understood that Yi Shang really wanted to kill him. He didn't want to capture him to threaten the Crimson Kingdom, or to obtain something. Whether you believe it or not, the result will still be the same. 7 absolutes do it. Summer City was too lazy to talk nonsense with Chidu. Knight Sorrow didn't stay in the Sky Tiger Pass. He came to express his stance and deal with Chidu. Knight Sorrow returned to the 9 Chong building and drank a pot of tea. Summer City came back to report that Chidu had been dealt with. Knight Sorrow nodded. Chidu had to die, no matter whose son he was, because he did something he shouldn't have done. He shouldn't have killed soldiers. The moment Chidu died, the Crimson Emperor knew about it. Although he knew that this was the result, he was still abnormally furious. As a Heaven Master, he couldn't protect his son. This was a huge blow to him, even though his son had gone overboard. Although he was angry, the Red Emperor knew that it was difficult to deal with Knight Sorrow now. The Qing Emperor and Datura were very difficult to deal with. The Qing Emperor was reasonable, but Datura was different. If she said she was unreasonable, then she would be unreasonable. In the words of Datura, if he followed the rules, then she would also follow the rules. If the Red Emperor acted recklessly, then Datura would act recklessly, and the Red Emperor's kingdom wouldn't be able to bear it. After calming down his anger, the Red Emperor continued to meditate. He knew that he had to calm down. A storm was brewing in the world of reincarnation. If he didn't handle it well, he would be doomed eternally. Chidu's death couldn't be hidden. Some people in the Red Emperor's kingdom knew about it. Akatsuki was very angry. Chidu's death was an enmity, and the Red Emperor's face was slapped. It could be said that Chidu's death was a disgrace to the Red Emperor's kingdom. Akatsuki went to the Red Emperor's pavilion to pay a visit to the Red Emperor. Tianxian, let's leave this matter as it is for now. We can't rush to take revenge. The situation is a bit chaotic now. The one who captured Chidu was Dark Ruler Datura. The main thing is that Chi-Du attacked an affiliated world protected by others. It's not right. We can't punish him even if we want to. The Red Emperor shook his head. This matter made him very annoyed because he supported Chi-Du going to the 9-domain world. Now that Chi-Du was killed, he couldn't do anything. Father, Dark Ruler and Qing Emperor are on the same side? They want to work together to deal with our Red Emperor's kingdom? After hearing the Red Emperor's words, Akatsuki's expression changed. The eastern region of the world of reincarnation was currently balanced. If the Qing Emperor's dynasty and the Red Emperor's kingdom worked together, the Red Emperor's kingdom would have a hard time surviving. Their living space would also be reduced. That won't happen. Usually, the three of us are in a state of laissez-faire. A real war won't happen. The Qing Emperor and Datura won't do that. The current situation is because of Night Sorrow. After Datura captured Night Sorrow, I don't know what Night Sorrow said to persuade Datura. Now Datura is willing to protect him. Let's wait and see. Many spies have entered the Qing Emperor's dynasty. It's a mess. The Red Emperor said. Night Sorrow, Datura, Akatsuki, will definitely take revenge. Akatsuki gnashed his teeth and said. You'd better work hard to cultivate and enter the level of Sky Master. Only then can you have the right to talk to them. The Red Emperor said. He had high expectations for Akatsuki, because he was the most talented among his many children. Night Sorrow studied the diagram every day, waiting for his main body to break through. One day, when Night Sorrow was drinking tea, the concentric crystal in her sleeve vibrated. Datura was looking for her. Seeing Night Sorrow take out the concentric crystal, Summer City left the 9 Grand Building's main hall to stand guard. Aluo, what's the matter? Night Sorrow asked. Let me ask you something. You have someone called Jujuyun with you. What's your relationship with her? Datura looked at Night Sorrow. Friend, she was once the leader of the 9 regions world's nether realm. Now she's my friend. Why do you ask? Night Sorrow asked. She's very suitable for developing in the Dark Abyss. She can also comprehend the death attribute. Can you give her to me? Datura asked. Chapter 12:11. Sure. I'll ask her later. It's not a big deal. It's up to her. Night Sorrow said. Originally, I wanted to snatch this person over and accept her as my disciple. Now, with our relationship, there is no need for that. You are friends. It would be awkward for me to accept her as my disciple, but I can guide her in her cultivation, Mandela said. Okay, it's not a big deal. I'll ask her later. Night Sorrow said. He thought it was a good thing. Jujuyun had fire and death attributes. So far, there was no place for her to comprehend death intent. Night Sorrow was going to give Jujuyun some merit points to the Samsara Palace. But if Jujuyun was willing to go to the Dark Abyss, there would be no need. There must be a place for her to comprehend death intent. After closing the concentric crystal, Night Sorrow asked Red Robe to call Jujuyun over. Jujuyun's original body was in the midst of comprehending death intent. Her avatar was in Chia City. Jujuyun and Red Robe came to the Hall of the 9 Stories building. Night Sorrow looked at Jujuyun. Now you have an opportunity. But I'm not sure if you're willing to take it. Commander, please tell me. As long as you think it's okay. Jujuyun said. Here's the thing. I know someone from the Dark Abyss. The Dark Master wants you to go there. Night Sorrow didn't mention his relationship with Datura. He just told her the truth. The Dark Abyss is indeed suitable for my attributes. Commander, do you think it's appropriate for me to go? After thinking for a while, Jujuyun asked Night Sorrow. She knew that she couldn't compare with Night Sorrow in terms of foresight and analysis. She might as well let Night Sorrow make the decision. Then go. This is also an opportunity for your personal development. Even if I give you some merit points to let you go to Samsara Palace to comprehend the will, it will only be temporary. If you choose the right path, you will benefit for the rest of your life. Yishang nodded. He knew that Mandela would give Jujuyun a sufficient stage. After that, Night Sorrow asked Jujuyun to wait at the small house by the lake. Someone would come and find her. Then he informed Datura, and left the matter alone. Night Sorrow cultivated the array Dao every day, because the array Dao that he had recently come into contact with was of a very high level. Whether it was the Heaven Sealing Array, the Heaven Locking Array, or the 9 Slaughtering God Array, they were all extensive and profound. It could even be said that a single array Dao was enough for an array master to study for a lifetime. Night Sorrow cultivated himself without moving an inch, but battles broke out from time to time. It was the Qing Emperor's guards led by Fei Xiao who often captured the cultivators who approached the 9 Stories Tower to investigate. They were not natives of the Qing Emperor's dynasty, but were all outsiders. Night Sorrow understood that this was the consequence of Zhan Taiyang going out to block the wind. Many powers had their eyes on him because the heavenly artifact was too powerful. Who would believe that? Night Sorrow stood up and swore a heavenly Dao oath, saying that the clear sky god pagoda was not in his hands. Perhaps people would believe him, but the space-time pagoda was a part of the clear sky god pagoda. How could he swear such an oath? He could only accept it. Whoever came looking for trouble, Night Sorrow could only accept it. Time passed very quickly, and in the blink of an eye, 3 years had passed. Night Sorrow cultivated very steadily, but he often went to the Heaven Tiger Pass to open the checkpoints, and the legions often went out to battle. Right now, the Red Emperor's dynasty was completely suppressed. Some of the cities near the Heaven Tiger Pass were allowed to develop freely, because once officials and managers moved in, the 9 Heavens army would sweep through and plunder resources. This was not something that the Red Emperor's dynasty was willing to accept. In addition, Night Sorrow's reputation in the Qing Emperor's dynasty was becoming more and more resounding. Heavenly Master Highness Night Sorrow was known by everyone, because no matter what weapon, armor, or medicinal pill it was, as long as you had the materials, you could refine it. It could even be said that cultivators from other factions came because of his reputation. There were very few high-level heavenly masters, and even if there were, the fees were very high. At the same time, more and more spies came to look for trouble. This was because the news was spreading faster and faster. There were even rumors that Yi Shan's ability to refine high-quality Sovereign King weapons and Sovereign King pills was due to the help of the Heavenly Dao artifact. These rumors made Night Sorrow feel very helpless because he had no way to defend himself. His hatred for Zhan Taiyang also became deeper and deeper because it was all because of Zhan Taiyang and Fang Feng. It was even said that some of the major figures came to negotiate with the Qing Emperor, but he did not know what they were talking about. Night Sorrow was looking forward to the awakening of his original body in the Samsara Palace. He had been comprehending for 3 years, and he did not know how effective it was. In the past, it did not take him so long to comprehend the time attribute. 2 years ago, Night Sorrow also had a son and a daughter. Sikong Chiyu gave birth to a son Yi Yujun, and Atse gave birth to a daughter, Night Sorrow. They were all named by Night Sorrow's wives. At that time it was very sensational in the 9 Regions world. Everyone who knew Night Sorrow in the 9 Regions world sent him congratulatory gifts. It was because they were the real crown prince and princess of the 9 Regions world. The children of the Grand Pure Domain could not be compared to them. When the 2 children were born, the energy contained in their bodies was at the 3rd stage core formation level. Because Night Sorrow's body was very strong, his children were also very talented. While Night Sorrow was thinking, Sikong Chiyu brought the 2 children to see Night Sorrow. Their original bodies had started to cultivate again, and now it was their doppelganger who was taking care of the children. The 2 children ran directly to Night Sorrow and climbed onto Night Sorrow's body. The 2-year-old children had not known each other for long, but they were very clingy to Night Sorrow. Chiyu, don't bring them here. I will go back when I have time. It is not very safe here. Night Sorrow carried the 2 children on his lap and said. Sikong Chiyu smiled and nodded. It was Yujun who insisted on looking for father. If I didn't bring him here, he would make a fuss. Let's go home. Father will take you to play. Night Sorrow carried the children on each hand, and took the teleportation array back to the city in the sky. Summer City also followed behind. He was very puzzled. He had seen many cultivators, but he had never seen King take care of the children himself. At Night Sorrow's place, as long as the children came, no matter what he was doing, He would put down everything and play with the children until the children were tired and fell asleep. Beside the lake in the city in the sky, Yi Shang placed the two children who were tired from playing and had fallen asleep in the wooden boat. He covered them with blankets and then brewed a pot of tea. He waved at Xiacheng. Your Highness is very patient. The two of them are also very energetic. They have been tormenting Your Highness for the whole afternoon. Summer City sat down and said, They haven't seen me for a while, so they are a bit sticky. It is also because I did not accompany them properly. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Plus JF is the only genuine copy B. Others are all stolen. The real deal. Your Highness, your aptitudes are excellent. They will be able to cultivate soon. Summer City praised Yi Yujun's and Yi Qingyan's aptitudes. Don't worry. We can talk about it when they want to cultivate. They have good aptitudes. A few years won't make a difference. A happy childhood will be beneficial for their future growth. The cultivation of their state of mind and temperament is very important. Night Sorrow said. Spoil. Summer City muttered. I grew up with Father Gu, so I can understand the inner world of children. Now the most important thing is to instill the correct outlook on life and the world. This will determine their future. Night Sorrow said with a smile. At this time, Fei Xiu came to Night Sorrow's side. Your Highness, I have captured another person. Is this person an important person in the Blackfean Valley? Chapter 12:12. What important person? Night Sorrow asked with a frown. It's the personal guard of a young master of the Blackfean Valley. The young master has also arrived at the Qing Emperor's dynasty, Fei Xiu said with a bow. Go back and have a look. Chuyu, don't bring the child to the world of samsara in the future. Send someone to call me if there's anything. Night Sorrow left the city in the sky with Summer City and Fei Xiu after instructing the Sikong Chuyu, who had rushed over. Back at the 9-story tower, Night Sorrow saw the person who had been captured by the Qing Emperor's guard. Let me go quickly, or my young master will not let you go. The man who had been captured roared. A personal guard is not important. Is this your real body or a doppelganger? Night Sorrow asked. It's a doppelganger. Why don't you try to kill me? The man was very arrogant. Tell your young master not to provoke me, or he'll have to bear the consequences. Besides, I don't care about anyone. Not even your young master, let alone a personal guard like you. Take him away and kill him. Night Sorrow ordered the Qing Emperor's guard directly. You'll regret it, my young master Liang. The personal guard kept roaring as he was dragged away. You're threatening me in the wrong place. I've even killed the prince of the Red Emperor's kingdom. What's a personal guard like you? Night Sorrow snorted coldly. Then Night Sorrow entered the main hall of the 9-story tower. It seems that the level of the enemy's people has increased. The 9-story tower's defense has been very tight in recent years. Some forces can't sit still and kill some people. We'll just offend some people, Summer City said. It doesn't matter who they offend. From the moment they came to the Qing Emperor's dynasty, they didn't show any respect to the Qing Emperor's dynasty. We're enemies. Even if the young master is captured, I'll still kill him, let alone a personal guard of the young master. Night Sorrow said without hesitation. After all, this was someone bullying him. They didn't give him any face. Yes, but this time, we have slapped the face of the Blackfean Valley's young valley master. The Blackfean Valley is very strong. They have 2 sky pillar level figures. The other young valley masters are not at that level, but they are also the best among the monarchs, said Summer City. Judging from the arrogance of a guard, it's as if the Blackfean Valley is the overlord of the world of samsara, Night Sorrow said. Summer City nodded and told Night Sorrow that in the world of samsara, the Blackfean Valley was the most powerful force in the southern region. Just like Zhan Taiyang's sky-seizing island, it was a dominating force, but it was not strong enough to ignore the 3 superpowers in the eastern region. Let's see what they can do. Fei Xiu continued to capture. If anyone comes, capture them. Interrogate them and kill them, Night Sorrow ordered. Summer City and Fei Xiu bowed. They knew that although His Highness in front of them looked peaceful and approachable, he was hot-blooded. If anyone dared to offend and blaspheme him, he would fight back to the end. In a city near the Qing Emperor's dynasty and the Qing Emperor's city, a young man was sitting in a courtyard and drinking tea. There were beautiful women waiting on him. Only one original version, the others are pirated versions. At this time, a man walked in. The man's face was pale. He was the man who Knight Sorrow ordered to be killed. Young master, I didn't do my job well. I was caught when I went to the Ninchong building where Knight Sorrow was. The man reported while kneeling on one knee. You are also a Star King. Even if you were careless, you couldn't escape after being discovered? How could your clone be killed? The man who was drinking put down his cup and said, there were Qing Emperor's guards in the Ninchong building led by the sovereign. I was no match for them. I was trapped and captured. I told them that I was your personal guard, but they still attacked. They don't care about young master's face at all. The man who was kneeling on one knee said. At this time, the man who was drinking stood up and suddenly slapped the man's head. Are you a pig? We are plotting against them, and they still give us face? You even exposed your identity. Don't you deserve to die? The kneeling man's eyes were filled with fear, but he couldn't say anything. His deity ocean had been shattered by the man's palm. The young man kicked the dead guard away. Useless. You can't do anything right. My lord, don't be angry. It's okay if they know. What can they do in the Qing Emperor's dynasty? A beautiful woman waved her hand and asked someone to drag the body away. I, Liang, am not afraid. So what if they know? If I was afraid of them, I wouldn't have come. Knight Sorrow is just a guy who hasn't even lost his hair yet. Liang sat down and said. As a sovereign, Liang had no reason to be afraid of Knight Sorrow, even if Knight Sorrow was the crown prince of the Qing Emperor's dynasty. Men, Liang shouted. Then someone appeared in front of him. It was Li Ying's personal guard. Because sovereigns couldn't sneak into the Qing Emperor's city, Liang brought his men and hoarded them in this small city. Now think of a way to sneak into the Qing Emperor's city. I want Knight Sorrow. No matter what method you use, think of a way to capture him. Another small group of people go to the Nine Sky World group. He came from the Nine Sky World group. His weakness should be there. Capture the people around him, and we can make him submit. Liang gave another order. The fact that Chi Du brought people to the Nine Domain world and was completely wiped out was a secret. The Red Emperor's dynasty naturally wouldn't tell anyone because it would be embarrassing. Knight Sorrow and Datura naturally wouldn't tell anyone either. Every day, Yishang would study the books on array formations. He had even set up array formations all over the 9-story tower. The people of the 9-story tower naturally knew where the array formations were, but outsiders would be in trouble if they trespassed. With the improvement of Knight Sorrow's array skills, he set up an illusion array on the outside and a heaven-locking killing array on the inside. Even a high-level king would be trapped. There were often spies who noticed that some areas were unguarded and would sneak in. However, the unguarded areas were all big pits. If they trespassed into the array, they would be captured alive. Knight Sorrow didn't ask about it. Summer City and the others would finish interrogating him and give him a stab. In front of Knight Sorrow's table was a stack of information. They were all statements from spies. Knight Sorrow saw that except for the 3 forces in the eastern district of the world of Samsara, all the other forces had information. In other words, all the forces were interested in the fact that Knight Sorrow had the heavenly artifact. They all wanted to know the truth. On this day, Knight Sorrow was making tea. The concentric crystal in his sleeve vibrated. Hey, I'm out. Datura's figure was in the concentric crystal. You're with Lord Feather and Qingyan? Knight Sorrow saw that it was his children beside Datura. Yes. If you work hard, they will have to call me aunt in the future. Naturally, I have to cultivate my feelings. Datura's face was full of smiles. All right. After you came out, there's a big competition. I have to congratulate you. Knight Sorrow said. Wait a minute. You're in the mysterious sky world again. I'll go there first. Datura hung up. Chapter 12-13. Uncle Summer, let's go. Knight Sorrow walked out of the main hall and headed towards the teleportation array. Summer City followed behind. He knew that something was wrong because Night Sorrow's face was filled with killing intent. He knew that Night Sorrow hated people who had designs on his family. When Night Sorrow arrived at Seven Night City, Datura had also just teleported over from the city in the sky. Since you're here, let's go together. Let's see which side you're on. Datura nodded at Night Sorrow. Then, the three of them teleported to the mysterious heaven world. At this moment, outside the teleportation array in the mysterious heaven world, two groups of people were fighting. However, the group wearing blood-red robes had the absolute upper hand and was suppressing their attacks. Looking at their attack patterns, they're from the Blackfiend Valley. Datura's watery eyes behind her veil were filled with coldness and killing intent. There was a saying that one should not implicate one's family. It was fine to have designs on Night Sorrow, but entering the mysterious heaven world meant that they had evil intentions. They wanted to target the people around Night Sorrow. How could she not be angry? During this period of time, Datura had interacted with Night Sorrow's parents and wife. They got along very well. She would not allow anyone to disturb the peace of Seven Night City and the city in the sky. Without Datura and Summer City's help, the battle was over. Li Ying's men were very strong. They were led by two sovereigns. However, Datura's blood-robed guards were 4 sovereigns. The two sides were not on the same level. Of the 20 people, besides the one who was killed, 3 were captured. Tell me, whose subordinates are you from the Blackfiend Valley? Are they Li Tianba's direct subordinates or Li Tianhu's subordinates? Mandela stepped forward and kicked a person who was squatting down. He looked like a leader. I'm not a subordinate of the 2 Valley Masters. I'm following young Valley Master Li Ying, the guard captain said. Li Ying? I don't know which bastard this is, but you're dead. If any of you have a clone, tell him that there are some things he can't do. If I catch him, I'll kill him. Datura took out his hollowed-out blade and waved it a few times, directly chopping up the captured people. Li Ying, I'll remember this name. The one I captured last time was also one of his personal guards. He sure was happy to dance. Night Sorrow mumbled to himself. I was a little impulsive. If we interrogate them, we can find out where their master is, Datura said. Night Sorrow shook his head. They're all personal guards. They'll talk about unimportant matters, but they won't talk about important matters. Be careful. Right now, many people are unscrupulous. Don't worry about this place. No matter how many people come, they won't be able to break in. Even if they are strong enough, if these people can't hold on, other blood guards will rush over. That is, unless they are stronger than the Dark Abyss, Datura said to Night Sorrow. Equals B, that's it then. But they might hate you. Night Sorrow was a little worried that he would cause trouble for Datura. Nothing. Looking for me? Then let's give it a try. Right now, I'm itching to find someone to test my strength on. Datura said as he waved his hollow knife. After chatting with Datura for a while, Night Sorrow left. After returning to the Nine Chong building, Night Sorrow brewed a pot of tea and pondered. If the 2 sky giants of the Blackfiend Valley really invade our Qing Emperor's dynasty, then it'll be a big problem. No. Everyone in the world of Samsara knows that the 3 powers of the Eastern District usually have disputes. But when it comes to important matters, we all work together because it's for the collective benefit of the Eastern District. In addition, His Majesty is also at the top of the Sky Giants level. The Dark Master, Datura, is also very famous. The Red Emperor is also not weak. No one will make trouble for us. You saw it today. The Dark Master, he's also very capricious. Who dares to provoke such a person? Summer City sighed. Datura was very murderous, and his hollow knife was deadly. But when he talked to Night Sorrow, his attitude changed obviously. Well, that's good. Let's continue to watch them struggle. Night Sorrow stretched his neck. No one could break into Chia City and the 9 Regions world. His home was safe, and so was the Nine Chong building. The Qing Emperor's dynasty restricted sovereigns from entering. Even if other sovereigns entered the Qing Emperor's city through other means without being detected, it was extremely difficult to do anything. There was more than one sovereign in the Nine Chong building. Summer City and Feishio were both sovereigns, And there were also the Qing Emperor's guards who could compete with sovereigns. In addition, there was an army stationed in the Ninchong building. After Nu Lin, Qin Leitang, Wei Wei, and 7 absolutes learned that Night Sorrow was in danger, they had decided to set up a permanent army in 9-story tower. Originally, 9-story tower also had a military camp and a training field. Night Sorrow did not reject the good intentions of his brothers. He allowed Nu Lin and the others to make the arrangements. Qing Lin, Qing Yuan, and the other princes often came to visit Night Sorrow. Now, all the children of the Qing Emperor recognized Night Sorrow. The one who came to Night Sorrow's place the most frequently was Qing Yuan. He was very grateful that Night Sorrow had protected him back then. He understood that Night Sorrow was also someone who could be brothers with him. When Night Sorrow had nothing to do, he would also go to the Azure Sky Pavilion to drink some tea with the Qing Emperor. Although Night Sorrow's original body had not awakened from the understanding of the sky and the earth, he was not in a hurry. He was almost certain that he had already started to understand the will of nothingness. He was now in a deep state of understanding. Perhaps when he woke up he would be a 2-star king. It should be known that Night Sorrow's main element and soul were both nothingness elements. He was the most compatible with the nothingness element. In other words, compared to the time and space elements, it was easier for him to understand the will of nothingness. The time and space elements entered the king's realm first because he had not yet understood the will of nothingness. At this moment, in that courtyard, Liang was stamping with rage because one of his personal guards had been annihilated. Many cultivators had clones. If they had clones, they would often fight with clones. This time, a few of Li Ying's subordinates had fought with clones. They had survived. D***. Why is there such a strong team guarding? Li Ying could not understand. Besides, this time, they had suffered heavy losses. Looking at their clothes and attacking methods, they should be from the Dark Abyss. In the beginning, 4 monarchs led the team to attack us. The other 2 who appeared later were very strong. One was a monarch, but his aura was very strong. He should be a peak monarch. The other was a woman who killed people. I can't see how strong she is, the guard captain said. There should be something we don't know. Don't go to the 9 Sky World Group. It seems that the guards there are very strong. There is no possibility of breaking in. Focus on Qing Emperor's city. Isn't that Night Sorrow very confident now? If he doesn't go back to his nest, we will have a chance. He is not qualified to use the heavenly artifact yet, Li Ying said with narrowed eyes. There is something else that I don't know if I should say, the guard captain said. Say it. Li Ying glared at the guard captain. The woman whose strength I can't see clearly said the names of the Valley Master and the Deputy Valley Master. She was very disdainful, the guard captain said with a bow. Chapter 12-14. How dare you? But to be able to say something like that, you must be at least on the same level as father and uncle. If I'm not wrong, that should be the Dark Dominator Li Ying. The guard captain did not say anything. He did not say what Datura had said about Li Ying. He felt that if he said that, Li Ying would be so angry that he would vomit blood. He might even kill him. With a wave of his hand, Li Ying dismissed the guard captain. Being surrounded by 4 sovereigns, it was inevitable that the entire army would be wiped out. Li Ying could not blame anyone, nor could he blame anyone for not doing his job well. However, he had a backup plan. Most of his guards had infiltrated the Qing Emperor's city. Li Ying felt that if he could gain something here, his losses would be negligible. After Night Sorrow returned to 9-story tower, he did the same every day. He studied arrays and array Dao. Other than that, he took orders to forge weapons and make pills. He took orders to forge weapons and make pills to earn king-grade materials. To Night Sorrow, the more the better. When he was free, Night Sorrow would return to the 9 Domains world to spend time with his child. Night Sorrow's life was stable. However, 9-story tower was capturing more and more people. They even killed 2 sovereigns. These people mainly came from 2 forces. One was Zhan Taiyang's sky-seizing island, and the other was Li Ying's men from Blackfiend Valley. Without Night Sorrow's request, Summer City ordered them all to be killed. The Qing Emperor knew about this. When he heard that some sovereigns had sneaked into the Qing Emperor's city, the Qing Emperor ordered the Qing Emperor's guards to increase their patrols. He also sent out secret guards to assassinate Blackfean Valley and Sky Seizing Island. It was impolite not to reciprocate. The Qing Emperor also wanted to let the Blackfean Valley and Sky Seizing Island know that the Qing Emperor's dynasty was not a place where they could do whatever they wanted. Knight Sorrow did not know about this. The Qing Emperor would not tell him about this. Liang was furious at the constant loss of his men. If this continued, not only would he not be able to afford it, but it would also not be effective. After giving it some thought, Liang ordered his men to stop the operation for a while he gathered more men. He planned to use a heavy punch to break through the 9-story tower's defenses. Fighting on a small scale would only result in the loss of manpower, and there would not be any results. On this day, Knight Sorrow, who was studying array formations, suddenly stood up. A mysterious aura appeared on his body. Then, his aura began to rise until it reached the peak of 3-Star King. Peak 3-Star King. Several years ago, Knight Sorrow's cultivation base had risen to the peak of the 3-Star King realm. His cultivation base was at the will of nothingness boundary. But because his energy couldn't keep up, he had to awaken from his state of enlightenment. Excitement. Knight Sorrow was filled with excitement. This was because it had come at the right time. With the peak of the 3-Star King realm's nothingness attribute, combined with the time and space attributes, his great emperor reincarnation / could be unleashed. Summer City was also a bit stunned. Knight Sorrow's aura suppressed him greatly. This was not something that could be done with high-level attributes. Uncle Summer, I need to go out, Knight Sorrow said. Okay. Summer City nodded. He knew that Knight Sorrow had something to do. Knight Sorrow's doppelganger left the 9-story tower and went to the 9-domain world. He wanted to get the time and space treasure pagoda to increase his cultivation base. That way, his battle power could keep up. His main body had brought some resources to increase his cultivation base. But if he wanted to increase his nothingness chi to the peak of the 3-Star King realm, he would need the time and space treasure pagoda. While Knight Sorrow's doppelganger was on the move, Knight Sorrow's main body said goodbye to the reincarnation palace, and then left to undergo the tribulation. The lightning tribulation was naturally the most difficult 9-stage lightning tribulation. However, Knight Sorrow had 3 types of energy in him. He had sufficient time and space energy, so he wasn't as weak as most people who had just advanced. Thus, passing the tribulation wasn't difficult for him. After the tribulation, Knight Sorrow's body gained 2 more types of black energy, and 1 type of energy filled with vitality. This was what Knight Sorrow had obtained when he advanced his time attribute. Knight Sorrow woke up the person cultivating in the time and space treasure pagoda, and teleported to the reincarnation city. Then he handed the time and space treasure pagoda to his main body, and left some resources behind. Then he and Summer City returned to the 9-story tower. Knight Sorrow's main body communicated with the reincarnation palace, and then entered the time and space treasure pagoda to increase his cultivation base. After returning to the 9-story tower, Knight Sorrow told Hichio and Jun Xuanji that he would not accept any orders for the time being. Although they were a little surprised, Hichio and Jun Xuanji did not ask. They would only carry out Knight Sorrow's orders. Knight Sorrow told Summer City and Fei Xiao that no one was allowed to approach the back of the hall. Then he went to the training field behind the hall to cultivate. It was his personal training field. When the will of nothingness reached the pinnacle of the 3-Star King, Knight Sorrow wanted to increase the power of the great Emperor Samsara / It was a killer move to kill enemies and defend oneself. It was a true unique skill. In the boundless universe, one's cultivation base was a part of one's battle strength. Another part was battle skills and mystic skills. There were also secret skills that surpassed mystic skills. Secret skills were also called unique skills. Only the most powerful people could create unique skills. Even if someone cultivated a unique skill, they might have obtained the handwritten notes or ancient books from their predecessors. Summer City knew that Knight Sorrow's strength had increased again. Now it was time for him to adapt. After everyone's cultivation base increased, there would be a time for them to adapt to their battle skills and cultivation base. If one's cultivation base was high but his battle strength was low, it would be a sign of incompetence. Controlling the energy of nothingness and the will of nothingness as the main body, Night Sorrow began to fuse the time and space attribute energy. Then he performed the mystic skill of the great emperor Samsara / according to the Qing emperor's teachings, and began to cultivate. Every time Night Sorrow attacked, he would pierce through space or create spatial cracks. The spatial black holes were either shattered or melted. Lai Kong's body had a deep purple light wave. The light wave could cover an area, and that area would be filled with a special aura. Night Sorrow knew that it was an area that could affect the opponent's soul and will. Just like when Datura performed the death annihilation / the light wave would envelop the opponent, killing them before they could move or dodge. Night Sorrow's purple halo also had the same effect. This was the power of a unique skill. The will and rules could affect everything in an area. After feeling the power of the great emperor Samsara / Night Sorrow was very excited to cultivate. He didn't come out even once for a few days, because he wanted to perfect and maximize the power of the great emperor Samsara / During one of their communications, Datura noticed that Night Sorrow's condition was different. She asked about it. She was strong, but she couldn't use the concentric crystal to determine her opponent's cultivation base. There was only one original version. The rest were pirated versions. Night Sorrow didn't hide anything from Datura. He told her about his current situation. You're very good. You reached the peak of the 3-star king rank so quickly. It's a pity that you were interrupted because your energy cultivation base wasn't high enough. However, you crossed 3 levels in one go. This is a first. Very good. I'll be waiting for you. Datura's beautiful face was full of smiles. Chapter 12:15. Datura didn't wear a veil when she was in the city in the sky, or when she was facing Night Sorrow. She knew that this was a sign of respect. She felt that since she was engaged to Night Sorrow, she had to take it seriously and put her heart into it. She couldn't afford to be estranged from him. I haven't reached the intermediate king level yet. It's still too early for that. Night Sorrow shook his head. You're not in a hurry and aren't looking forward to it, right? Datura looked unhappy. You've misunderstood. I'm working very hard right now because I want to give the people around me peace. I also don't want to disappoint you, Night Sorrow said. Yeah, I'm just teasing you. I know you're working very hard. Don't tire yourself out. Datura's unhappy expression turned into a smile after hearing Night Sorrow's words. I know. If you need anything, just use the communication crystal. Night Sorrow nodded. After disconnecting the communication crystal, Night Sorrow continued to cultivate. He wanted to perfect the Emperor reincarnation / as soon as possible. While Night Sorrow was cultivating, Summer City arrived. Your Highness, Xuexi is here. Tomorrow is Qingyan's birthday. The family hopes that you can go back. I almost forgot. I have to go back. Night Sorrow took a sip of water from a teacup on the stone table beside the training ground. Haha, you're a good father. No matter when, if your son and daughter need anything, you'll be there immediately, Summer City said with a smile. I'm a father. I won't say anything if I don't spend time with them properly. However, I want the children to know that as long as they need it, their father will definitely be by their side. Night Sorrow said as he put down the teacup. Summer City nodded. He understood. This was Night Sorrow's philosophy. Nothing was more important than his family. No matter what happened at home, he would place importance on it. After that, Night Sorrow asked Jun Xuanji to go to the Qing Emperor city to buy some delicacies that couldn't be found in the 9 regions world. Then he personally made 2 small toys before he prepared to go home. When Night Sorrow arrived at the city in the sky, he saw Sikong Chuyu waiting with the 2 children. Why are you waiting here? Night Sorrow went up and carried the 2 children. Yujun said that he missed his father. I told him that you would be back soon, so he dragged me here to wait for you. Fortunately, you came back in time and didn't disappoint the child. Sikong Chuyu had a smile on her face, and her tender face was full of motherly radiance. The next time the child is in a hurry, arrange for someone to call me, Yishan said. Sikong Chuyu nodded. She knew that Yishang valued his family more than anything else. Night Sorrow played with the children for a long time. When the children were tired, Night Sorrow sat down and drank some tea. These two little guys are really troublesome. Haha, they're just like you when you were young, full of energy, Papa Goose said with a smile. Dad, I was like this when I was young too? Thank you for your hard work. He poured a glass of wine for Papa Goo. You don't have to be so polite with your foster father. Papa Goo shook his head. Some time ago, Papa Goo told Night Sorrow that Night Sorrow had found his parents. It wasn't appropriate for him to call him Dad now, so he asked Night Sorrow to call him foster father. However, Night Sorrow still insisted on calling him that. Yujun and Qingyan love fishing with Papa Goo now, Yuqing said with a smile. Yuqing said with a smile. In Sky City, Father Goo was a title. No matter how high one's seniority was, they would all call him that. Haha, back then you urged me to take care of the children. Now I can't complain that I'm tired, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Not to mention too, even 10 wouldn't be a problem. 1 sheep, 2 sheep, and a flock of sheep are all free, Papa Goo said with a smile. Papa Goo's words made everyone laugh. However, they all knew that it wasn't easy for Night Sorrow to have children. Yujun and Qingyan's birth was a blessing from the heavens. Summer City felt that this was human kindness. In the world of reincarnation, there were very few families like this. At least he didn't know of any. Being too utilitarian led to a lack of human kindness. Uncle Xia, drink up. Night Sorrow filled Summer City's glass with wine. Your Highness, when you can do whatever you want in the world, I'll come here to enjoy my retirement, Summer City said. Okay, there's nothing else in the future. Uncle Xia, you can come here and rest. There's plenty of good wine and tea, Night Sorrow said. Seeing that it was still early, Night Sorrow let Papa Goo and Summer City drink tea while he took the transmission array to walk around. The 9 regions world was peaceful now. Of course, there were still some disputes. Some small forces and families were fighting for territory. Such things existed everywhere. It was natural selection and survival of the fittest. After walking around the 9 regions world, Night Sorrow talked with his senior brothers for a while, and invited them to the city in the sky tomorrow to drink. After that, Night Sorrow went to Chen Chen's tea house outside the sacred hall of Dongxian City. What's going on? Why are you here? Chen Chen was a little surprised to see Night Sorrow. He knew about Night Sorrow's situation. He knew that Night Sorrow had a lot of things to do outside. Why can't I come? Isn't it good to see my adopted brother and sister-in-law? Night Sorrow said with a smile. Of course it's good. I'm just a little surprised. Chen Chen took out a jar of wine. I'm here to drink tea. Let's drink tomorrow. Tomorrow is my son's birthday, Night Sorrow said with a smile. We've already prepared the gifts. We'll remember this. Even if you didn't invite us, we would still go tomorrow. Chen Chen smiled and began to make tea. You're so considerate. Several years have passed in the blink of an eye. The 9 regions world has changed so much. If it changes again, I won't be able to find my way here, Night Sorrow said with some emotion. Yes, the Taiqing domain is the core of the 9 regions world, followed by our Dongxian domain. You haven't been to Zhuyuan village, have you? It's already the 2nd city in the Dongxian domain. It's developing very well now, Chen Chen said. I haven't. I plan to go after drinking tea with you. I want to pay my respects to the 2 Yi family martyrs, Night Sorrow said. I go there often. I've experienced a lot of ups and downs in Zhuyuan City in my life, Chen Chen said. Your life? It's still too early. Night Sorrow smiled. At this time, Chen Chen's cultivation was at the venerable realm. Because of the resources given by Yi Qianhua and his constant cultivation, he had naturally comprehended the realm of being one with the world. Haha. It's still early. Let's go. We'll go to Zhuyuan City. It's a place that left a deep impression on us. With the change in his state of mind, Chen Chen didn't care about those unbearable memories of his past. He knew that it was also a form of growth. When they arrived at Zhuyuan City, Night Sorrow felt that the changes were too great. It was like heaven and earth had been turned upside down. Zhuyuan City was very prosperous, but Zhuyuan Village was still the same. There were no changes because it was a sacred place where Sector Lord Night Sorrow had lived in when he was young. V-Head. Hair, I also have a tea house here. I also plan to open a tea house in the place where you live now. This way, when you're tired and feel uneasy, we can drink tea together, Chen said. Second update. Chapter 12:16. That's a good idea, but the taste of the people there is relatively higher. The tea has to be good, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Of course, there's something I haven't told you. I still have my own tea garden. I've cultivated the heart-cleansing tea. It's no different from natural tea, Chen said. I have to say, you're doing well now. The owner of the tea house and tea garden is doing very well. Night Sorrow looked at Chen. He really did not expect Chen to have changed so much. I'm the owner of a tea house myself. Naturally, I have to develop good tea. Otherwise, what would the owner do? I also have to accumulate some assets for my 2 sons. I'm not a good cultivator, but I'll be a very good and honest businessman. Chen stated his position. Maybe you're right, but no matter what you do, I'll support you. Night Sorrow nodded to Chen. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation. Yi Shang offered incense to the members of the Yi clan who had sacrificed their lives to protect him. Only then did he walk around with Chen. Before leaving, Night Sorrow patted the wooden horse that Father Gu had made for him. This was the most profound thing in his memory. Some people and some things once experienced would never be forgotten. Night Sorrow also went to see the old people of Bamboo Garden Village, but some were no longer there. This was how the world changed. This was how time was like a knife. Uncle Nyo was very old, but he was still in good spirits. He was very happy to see Night Sorrow. When drinking, Night Sorrow inadvertently put the life serum in Uncle Nyo's wine glass. Uncle Nyo and the others were ordinary people. This was all he could do. After that, Night Sorrow and Chen went their separate ways in Dongxian City. Night Sorrow returned to the city in the sky, and Chen went home. After returning home, Night Sorrow went to rest. Although there were some things that he could not do, he could chat with his wife. After celebrating his child's birthday, Yi Shang returned to the 9-layer pagoda, and once again began cultivating. He could sense that his true energy cultivation base had increased. Because the space-time pagoda had increased his true energy cultivation base by 20 times. And because Yi Shang had enough resources to increase his true energy cultivation base, his true energy cultivation base had increased very quickly. Even if his true energy cultivation did not improve, his realm was at the king level. The will and rules of the world were also at the king level, so his combat strength had improved a lot. Mandela often communicated with Yi Shang. She mainly talked about Zhu Juyun's situation. Although Zhu Juyun had comprehended the will of fire, she had not entered the king level. Datura wanted Zhu Juyun to go directly to the dark abyss to comprehend the will of death. After all, there was a big gap between the two. It could be said that her future achievements would be different. The combination of death energy, rules, and will could allow her to fight those above her level. However, the will of fire could not do this. Zhu Juyun accepted Datura's arrangement. She knew that this was an opportunity. Datura was doing this for Night Sorrow's sake. There was no need for him to trick her. She also knew what kind of person Datura was, his identity in the dark abyss, and his status in the world of reincarnation. He was truly a giant who stood at the peak of the cultivation world. Night Sorrow was not worried about Zhu Juyun's situation. Zhu Juyun was a person who understood the big picture. As long as Datura treated her seriously, Zhu Juyun would work hard. If there are any good seedlings who are suitable to develop in the dark abyss, send them over. I will help you nurture them. They will definitely have a bright future. Datura looked at Night Sorrow and said, There are indeed some, but their level is a little low. I hope you don't mind. Night Sorrow said with a smile, Dark attribute? I can get someone to guide them. There is still a chance for them to advance to the death attribute. Datura said, They have the death attribute. The other one should have it too. He told me that his attribute is evolving. Night Sorrow said, Guan Yi had the death attribute. Qin Zhen also had the dark attribute. Night Sorrow did not ask after that. Okay. Arrange for them to wait at the 7 Night Cities teleportation formation. I will pick them up later. Datura said to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow asked Redcoat to deal with it. He continued to cultivate the Great Emperor reincarnation / Although he had succeeded, there was still room for improvement. While Night Sorrow was cultivating quietly, Liang appeared in a secluded courtyard in the Qing Emperor city. He had gathered some people around him. Young Valley Master, because of their strong blockade, some of our people were killed even though we flew in from the city walls. We only have 2/3 of our people left. Li Ying's personal guard, Li Kai, reported the situation. This number is enough. We are not going to destroy the 9 grand floors. We are going to capture them. Capturing Night Sorrow alone is not enough. We have to capture everyone around him. Only then will he submit. Also, we need to retreat. We don't have much time. If we don't end this quickly, the people from the Qing Emperor dynasty will come to our rescue. Liang said. I have already made the arrangements. We have set up a teleportation formation in the backyard of a restaurant not far from the 9 grand floors. Li Kai said. Okay. Let's not waste any time. We will take action tonight. Liang made the decision. He knew very well that it was dangerous. However, if they succeeded, the benefits would be endless. After cultivating, Night Sorrow went to the Sky Tiger Pass to check if there was anything wrong. Only then did he return to the 9 grand floors. Just as Night Sorrow was making tea, the sound of battle came from the 9 grand floors. Night Sorrow led Summer City, Redcoat, and Lawning out of the main hall. At this time, many men in black appeared in the 9 grand floors. There were close to 100 of them, and all of them had high cultivation bases. Are they going to fight? Summer City's face was full of killing intent. However, he did not move. He knew that these people were here for Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow's safety was the most important thing. The enemy had the advantage in numbers. They were able to suppress the Qing Emperor's guards. However, it would be difficult for them to kill the Qing Emperor's guards, because the Qing Emperor's guards had a joint attack formation. Restraining the Qing Emperor's guards was enough for Liang. At this time, Liang led his men and rushed toward Night Sorrow in Summer City. His target was Night Sorrow. If he could capture Night Sorrow, he would have the chance to get the heavenly divine artifact, the Haotian godly pagoda. Then, even if he was not a Sky Master, he would have the qualifications to talk to a Sky Master. You're courting death. Kill. Summer City brandished his sword and fought. He could not let others threaten Night Sorrow's safety. Night Sorrow held the Sky Splitter in his hand. Although his cultivation base was low and was not on the same level as his opponent, he wanted to test the power of the Great Emperor's reincarnation / if Night Sorrow wanted to fight. Get into formation. Surround and kill. Send someone to inform the soldiers of Tian who passed to come. The Dingxiang army stationed in the 9 grand floors had also arrived. The leader was the hot-tempered Wei Wei. At this time, there were a few people standing in the dark outside the 9 grand floors. They were wearing dark red clothes. Leader, what should we do? One of them asked. We can't interfere in this situation. The Qing Emperor's guards will be here soon. They don't care who we are, and will attack us directly. Let's go back. Didn't those brats set up a teleportation formation in our tavern? Let's go back and watch the teleportation formation. We'll kill them one by one. The man in front of the team said. Chapter 12-17. See. On the original chapter, Xiacheng blocked Liang and suppressed Li Ying's attacks. Liang was very strong. Although he was not a match for Summer City, he was very fast. Summer City's blades missed him. At this time, Li Ying's subordinates surrounded Night Sorrow. Fortunately, Wei Wei was there and could hold them off. However, more and more people were coming. Night Sorrow's Lai Kong also made his move. Because he was not as strong as these people, he could not fight them head-on. Night Sorrow pushed his time and space attributes to the extreme. He also used the Great Earth Cycle / danger. This was not a danger for 9-story tower. It was Night Sorrow's danger. The enemy did not have the ability to destroy 9-story tower, but they had the ability to hurt Night Sorrow. At this time, the people from Sky Tiger Pass had not arrived. The main reason was that Li Ying's men were fighting with all their might. They wanted to capture Night Sorrow and even kill him. Li Ying felt that the Haotian godly pagoda was very likely to be with Night Sorrow. He was also not sure if Night Sorrow was the original body or a clone. Just as the angry Lin army and the Thunder army teleported over, Li Ying shouted, "Do it!" Hearing Li Ying's order, the Blackfiend Valley guards surrounding Night Sorrow waved their arms. A large black net appeared and flew towards Night Sorrow. Great Emperor Cycle Slash. It was too late to dodge. Night Sorrow used his ultimate skill. As Night Sorrow stabbed out, purple light burst out and a large hole appeared in the black net. Night Sorrow's body flashed and rushed out. However, the black net covered a large area. Night Sorrow rushed out, but Hong Yi and Lan Ning, who were not far from Night Sorrow, were captured by the net. At this time, the angry Lin army and Qin Leitang also rushed over. Retreat. Night Sorrow, if you want these two people, give me the Haotian godly pagoda. Li Ying roared and retreated with his men. But at this time, the angry Lin army soldiers formed a formation and surrounded them. Night Sorrow chased after the high-level king who was holding the Red Spectre and Blue Shadow, but he was stopped by the others. Seeing the Red Spectre and Blue Shadow being taken away, Night Sorrow was infuriated. If you can't capture them, just kill them. Li Ying ran. Speed was his forte. Even though he had taken a hit from Summer City, his armor had been broken, and he had spat out a mouthful of blood. His speed did not slow down. As he ran, Summer City chased after him. Most of Li Ying's subordinates had run away. They were all elites under Li Ying's command, and their combat power was also very strong. Without Night Sorrow's orders, New Lin arranged for 2 armies to be stationed at Heaven Tiger Pass while the others went out to capture the culprit. The Qing Emperor's guards came a little later, but they also joined the operation. At this time, in the Tavern of the Dark Abyss, there were people lying in ambush, but they did not make a move. Even if someone came, they did not make a move. They were all waiting. Their captain, Jiepa, had discovered that someone from 9-story tower was being held hostage. They could not let anything happen to the hostage. When the black-clothed man holding the Red Spectre and Blue Shadow arrived and stepped onto the teleportation array, Jiepa made a move and directly killed him. Jiepa's snake-like thin sword appeared from the side of the teleportation array and directly pierced the man carrying the black net between his eyebrows, killing him in one move. This was the strength of the captain of the Bloodstrike Guard. Jiepa threw the black net into the hands of the people behind him. Then he and the others attacked the people of Blackfiend Valley. Massacre. The Bloodstrike Guards of the Dark Abyss were originally good at assassination. When they suddenly attacked, the people of Blackfiend Valley could not withstand it. They had just rushed out of 9-story tower and scattered, so there was no organization. Soon, the first dozen people were killed by Jiepo's men. You two don't struggle and shout. We are following orders. We are working for Night Sorrow. We will send you back later. Let go of the 2 of them, Jiepa said. Red Spectre and Blue Shadow, who were struggling in the black net, were stunned. They did not understand what was going on. It is not safe here. We are going to the next location. Red Spectre, I am Jiepa. I know you. Actually, you are one of Night Sorrow's people who came to us, but you have never been here, Jiepa said. You know me. Red Spectre was confused. I don't have time to explain it to you now. Men, take the 2 of them to the next location. When things calm down, send them back, Jiepa said. He still had things to do. He had to wait for the people of Blackfiend Valley to come. If they came, he would kill them. At 9-story tower, Summer City returned. Your Highness, that guy was Li Ying. He was too fast. I could not catch up and kill him. Uncle Xia, don't think too much. They were unprepared. It is inevitable that we will be at a disadvantage. Night Sorrow shook his head. He was very angry. Red Spectre and Blue Shadow were captured. He had to save them. This put him in a passive position. At this time, Night Sorrow was not the only one who was angry. In the temporary courtyard, Li Ying learned from his men that they had captured Red Spectre and Blue Shadow's subordinates. They were not teleported away as they wished. They were intercepted and killed in the dark. The people who went to the teleportation array were all killed. Who is it? Li Ying waved his hand and broke the tea table in front of him. Because he was so close to success, suddenly there was a problem. After capturing Red Spectre and Blue Shadow, Liang felt that there was a great chance to exchange for the Haotian godly pagoda in Night Sorrow's hands. According to the information he had investigated, Night Sorrow would not give up on the people around him. Otherwise, he would not have achieved the body of merit. So with Night Sorrow's people in hand, it was easy to succeed. Now that they were intercepted, it was equivalent to a failure. Liang knew that in the current situation, he had no chance. Now leaving the Qing Emperor's city was the best choice. Liang set up the teleportation array and waited for his subordinates to return. In the Qing Emperor's city, it was not easy to set up a teleportation array. Many places were interfered with by arrays. Liang searched for a long time to find the blind spots to set up the teleportation array in the tavern and this courtyard. Now that such a big problem had occurred, the Qing Emperor's city would definitely be cleaned up. He had to leave. While Night Sorrow was waiting for the news, he really got the news. Red Spectre and Blue Shadow had returned. Seeing the two return, Night Sorrow stood up excitedly. "Are you okay? Another group of people saved us. They said they were working for you, but it seems that they are not from the Qing Emperor's dynasty," Red Spectre said. "I understand. It's good that you are safe. We will remember this. Liang of the Blackfiend Valley. I will not let him go." Night Sorrow's face was filled with murderous intent. This was not the first time Liang had provoked him. The first time Liang sent his personal guards, it was equivalent to a conversation. Then Liang did not stop. He wanted to attack his family in the 9-domain world. Now he wanted to capture the people around him. This had crossed Night Sorrow's bottom line. Also this storage ring. "Someone asked me to bring it to you. He said you should have gone to get it a long time ago. You didn't, so he could only ask me to bring it to you." Red Spectre took out a storage ring. Night Sorrow nodded and took the storage ring. He knew that the people who saved Red Spectre and Blue Shadow were Datira's subordinates. This time they really helped him a lot. Chapter 12:18. You two go and rest. Uncle Summer, tell New Lin and the others to kill all those who can catch up to them and then retreat. Don't cause a commotion in the city, Night Sorrow said. Okay, I'll pass on the message right away. Summer City nodded. He knew Night Sorrow very well. If Redcoat and Lonning didn't come back, Night Sorrow would turn the Qing Emperor city upside down. Now that they were fine, he wouldn't continue to do things arrogantly. Back in the main hall, Night Sorrow vibrated the concentric crystal and communicated with Datira. "Today is really strange. You actually took the initiative to look for me. Don't tell me you miss me. I don't believe it." Datira's face was full of smiles. "It's not like you to have so little confidence. However, I'm here to thank you. I ran into some trouble today, and your subordinates helped me solve it. They also gave me a storage ring," Night Sorrow said. "So that's how it is. It's nothing. They've been gone for a few years just to help you today. I've told you twice about the resources, but you didn't take them, so I didn't bother to tell you. Now they're finally in your hands," Mandela said. "I, Night Sorrow, am an indomitable man. It's not appropriate for you to take care of me," Night Sorrow said as he shook his head. This was also the reason why Night Sorrow didn't take the resources for a few years. "Do you need to be so clear with me? Besides, didn't I use your soul cultivation liquid? You should know that rejection is sometimes hurtful. It's the attitude of treating me as an outsider." Datira's smile disappeared. I'll take it. Don't be unhappy. It's all my fault." Night Sorrow looked at Datira's disappointed expression and suddenly felt bitter because he inadvertently made Datira unhappy. "You really know you're wrong?" Datira asked. "I really know I'm wrong. Maybe it's not wrong to persist, but it's wrong to make you unhappy." Night Sorrow nodded. "Good, now I understand." A smile appeared on Datira's face. She was very happy. She knew about Night Sorrow's persistence. Now because of her emotions, Night Sorrow was willing to change himself. This was very important to her. After chatting for a while, Night Sorrow and Datira ended the call. After the battle, There were many things that needed to be dealt with. People from the Ninchong Pagoda were killed in the battle as well. More than a dozen soldiers were killed in the battle. Li Ying's men were all highly skilled in battle, so the soldiers were not able to hold on for long. After dealing with the aftermath, Knight Sorrow returned to the hall and opened his storage ring. "This is my gift to you. Keep it well." Knight Sorrow probed with his soul power and saw Datira's image. However, the image soon disappeared. Knight Sorrow knew that this was Datira's soul imprint. If someone else opened it, Datira would know, and the consequences would be severe. Chapter 5. Latest Chapter 5. After probing, Knight Sorrow was shocked. He knew what it meant to be rich. There was a small mountain of Saint Spirit stones, at least a few 100,000. There were also some materials for refining weapons and alchemy. Knight Sorrow smiled. This was Datira. This was the aura and temperament of the Dark Dominator. Knight Sorrow decided to accept it. If he did, Datira would be angry again. While Knight Sorrow was checking the resources, the Qing Emperor's city was in action. The Qing Emperor's guards and the city guards were all mobilized to clean up the Qing Emperor's city. Unknown people were arrested, and those who resisted were killed. The Qing Emperor knew about the 9 grand floors, and this made him very angry. Attacking his disciples in the Qing Emperor's dynasty was like slapping him in the face. Li Ying returned to the Blackfiend Valley with a pale face. Almost all of his men were killed, and the teleportation array in the tavern could not be used. With the Qing Emperor's guards and the city guards chasing after him, his men could not escape even if they wanted to. Li Ying understood that this was the consequence of angering the Qing Emperor. The Qing Emperor's dynasty was run by the Qing Emperor for countless years. The Qing Emperor's city was right under his nose. This time he had angered the Qing Emperor. Naturally, his men could not retreat. Li Ying's heart was stifled. He knew that he was one step behind. If his men had brought Hong Yi and Lanning back, the situation would not be like this. He lost half of his men and gained nothing. Li Ying could not accept this. He knew that he had miscalculated something. He only thought about the 9 grand floors and did not think about other people. Knight Sorrow finished checking the resources given to him by the Datira. The Qing Emperor and Xian Daozi arrived. "Greetings, Master." Knight Sorrow bowed to the Qing Emperor. "Are you okay?" The Qing Emperor looked at Knight Sorrow. "No problem. Also, please forgive me, Master. I did not use the army recklessly. At that time, the enemy kidnapped someone close to me. I did everything I could to save her." Knight Sorrow said. In the Qing Emperor's dynasty, the army could not be used recklessly without the order of the military. Knight Sorrow was the first commander. He had the authority to mobilize all the army, but he also needed to report to the military. "You can use others. It's fine if you want to. They slapped us in the face, so naturally, we have to slap them back. You don't have to worry about the rest. I have something to tell you, but now is a good time to tell you. All the cultivators in the boundless universe are in human form, but 70% of them are not. Some of the more powerful races have formed their own worlds. Recently, a special world will appear. If you have nothing to do, you can go and have some fun. If you don't want to go, just stay in the 9 grand floors. Other than the team of Qing Emperor's guards assigned to you, the other Qing Emperor's guards will also pay attention to this place," the Qing Emperor said. "What world?" Knight Sorrow asked. "The Ice Dragon world, a branch of the dragons. The most important thing is that there are ice dragon bones in that world. If you use the bones of an ice dragon to set up a formation, the power will be shocking. For example, in Chiye City, if you use the bones of an ice dragon that has recognized its master as the core to set up a formation, the city will be indestructible," the Qing Emperor said. "Then I have to go there," Knight Sorrow said after thinking for a while. "In addition, you need to cultivate your body. The blood essence of the dragons is the best material to improve your body's strength and cultivation." The Qing Emperor nodded. He was clear about Knight Sorrow's situation. "When will the Ice Dragon world appear?" Knight Sorrow asked. "In a month, but there are some things you need to know. Many people will go there, and there will be people from all the major forces, so you must be careful. If you are not careful, you will die, the Qing emperor said. I understand. Wealth comes from danger. If something happens, it's just a matter of one of my avatars. Knight Sara was very open-minded. In the Great Thousand World, many cultivators made the same choice. Their original body would cultivate, and then their avatars would go out to explore and look for resources. This way, they could quickly improve their strength. However, every cultivator's soul power was limited. If one's avatars were to be lost, they would have to face everything with caution. Because if something went wrong, they would be completely destroyed. There was a chance for reincarnation, but that was another beginning. Most of the time, the opponent would not give them a chance to reincarnate. You're tuning in to the Echoes of the Heart YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.